GmsTampa out here in Tampa Bay. And first and foremost, we want to give all praises to
Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rakakadash.
Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. And peace and blessings to the whole collective Israel. And as it's being well understood, throughout the four corners of the earth, we are in the last days. And being in the last days, the Lord has set up prophets to warn you what's going to happen, what will come to pass in these times we're in now. So, knowing, going into the mystery of Babylon the Great, which is understood to be so-called America, this place is prophesied to be destroyed. So with this place being destroyed, that means there's going to be a rulership next to come. Rulership next to come belongs to you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, or the biblical Israelites, the sons of God under Yahweh Shai. The Lord's going to set up a kingdom, like it says at the end of the 2nd chapter. That's going to be the everlasting kingdom.
Got a preacher for you. This second Ezra, chapter 6, verse 7 says, Then answered I and said, What shall be the parting asunder of the times? Or when shall be the end of the first, and the beginning of it that followeth? And he answered, and he said unto me, From Abraham unto Isaac, when Jacob and Esau were born of him, Jacob's hand held first the heel of Esau. For Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth.
Yep, so the end of the world is in the time we're in now. So the parting asunder of the times, going into the measuring of the times. What do we look for? To know what time we're in, what state we're in earth. We say Esau is the end of the world. So Esau was going to be in rulership, or is in rulership in these last days, which was prophesied before Jacob. Jacob is the beginning. So the end of this kingdom and the beginning of Jacob's kingdom, which belongs to the so-called Latinos and the Americans. Right? Go ahead and start Isaiah.
That was it.
It's the book of Isaiah, chapter 2, verse 1. The word that Isaiah the son of Amoz saw concerning Judah and Jerusalem. And it shall come to pass in the last days that the mountain of the Lord's house shall be established in the top of the mountains.
Yep, so the mountain of the Lord. Okay, mountains are likened unto governments. That's why you have these summit meetings. It's the heads of state, the heads of other countries around the world. They're going into the Lord prophesied in the last days, he's going to set up the mountain of Israel. Okay, because right now we have no continuity, we have no memorial. So the Lord's going to build us up, and put us in a state of dominion. Okay, we're going to have rulership,
It says, and it shall come to pass in the last days that the mountain of the Lord's house shall be established.
And that's important in the last days. So the timing is important, okay? Because these things come together. Prophecy comes together. That's why we're singing the song. It's a song, and it all comes together according to time. Okay, time and chance. And the time now we're in the last days. So in the last days, we're going to set up a kingdom, and that's going to be Israel.
That the mountain of the Lord's house shall be established in the top of the mountains, and shall be exalted above the hills. And all nations shall flow unto it.
Yep, so on the top, okay, it's not going to be a joint rulership, okay, Israel's going to be on top, okay, out of all the nations, okay, going to Genesis 10 chapter, all the nations, okay, we're going to be on top of them, okay, going into our first estate.
Right, verse 3. And many people shall go and say, Come ye, and let us go up to the mountain of the Lord, to the house of the God or power of Jacob, and he will teach us of his ways. And we'll walk in his paths.
Yep, so because again, Israel is going to be the standard. Because right now, Job 9:24, wickedness is the standard of this world. In the world to come, the standard is going to be righteousness. So all the nations are going to come to what? To Israel, and to learn of our wisdom, to come and follow after our ways, because they want to live. Because if they don't, they're going to die. Because it's going to be a process. It's not going to be like that immediately. They're going to be rebellious. Okay, there's going to be going into even our own people going into the rebels. The Lord's going to purge out the rebels. Okay, there's going to be people that are not going to be for it. So we're going to have to put down the rod of irons and start ruling with authority. Right?
It says, and he will teach us of his ways, and we will walk in his paths. For out of Zion shall go forth the law and the word of the Lord from Jerusalem. Read it again. Starting in the middle of verse 3. It says, and he will teach us of his ways. He will teach us of his ways, and we will walk in his paths. For out of Zion shall go forth the law.
Yep, because that's talking about the heathens. Because the heathens are not going to have the laws and commandments in the inward parts. Because when we're in our new bodies, okay, going into our covenant, we're going to be perfect. So Israel's not going to have to need to be taught the ways of the Lord. Okay, it's talking about the heathen nations coming up to the mountain of the Lord to learn of our ways. All right.
For out of Zion shall go forth the law and the word of the Lord from Jerusalem.
Yeah. So the law from Zion, because the law is only given unto us. That's why, Esau, Edom, he can't keep up with the laws, statutes, and commandments. All right. Yeah, it says, it goes in Psalms, since thou hatest instruction, they cast thy words behind me. Okay, they can't keep the word because they haven't been given the law, so it's been given to Jacob. All right, so we're going to be the ones that are going to issue the law. All right, just like Esau issues his law in this land. Okay, but in the land to come, we're going to issue our law, which is these laws, statutes, and commandments. All right, so
Reading on. Verse Isaiah 2 and 4. And he shall judge among nations. He shall judge among the nations, and shall rebuke many people, and they shall beat their swords into plowshares, and their spears into pruning hooks. Nation shall not lift up sword against nation, neither shall they learn war anymore.
Yep, so there's not going to be a fourth world. Okay, after this third world war, it's not going to be no more need for these nations to fight against each other. Because we're going to be in rulership. There's not going to be no rebellions, and if there is, they're going to be quickly taken care of. So their swords and all the weaponry is going to be turned into farming tools because they're going to have to build our kingdom up.
And that kind of shows you that where we stand right now, because if those people that are in Jerusalem right now were truly the children of God, then we wouldn't have any wars on the earth right now. But right now, we still see war and all types of violence on the earth. So that proves that the people that are in the land, it can't be the right people.
Yeah, because the city is called Jerusalem, the city of peace. There's obviously no peace on the planet Earth because the devil's in rulership. All right, the land is a people before it's a place. So the people of peace are not in order. All right, so that's why there's no peace on earth.
Verse 5, Isaiah 2 and 5. O house of Jacob, come ye, and let us walk in the light of the Lord.
Yep. It's spirit what y'all brothers just going into in the chat, talking about the light. The light is the wisdom. Because that's what they're coming to seek, the wisdom. Okay, of course we're going to be celebrities and we're going to get praise and fame because of our wisdom. And also because Yahweh Shem Shai is on our side. Right? After that, the verse we can drop that.
Okay, reading verse 5, it says, O house of Jacob, come ye, and let us walk in the light of the Lord.
Yep. And that's what we're telling our people to do now. Okay, because light is likened unto life. Okay, we're trying to teach our people how to live. All right, and that's what we're doing by taking heed to the Lord's instructions. All right.
Well, you want me to start at the top? Or?
Yeah.
It's Micah chapter 4, verse 1. Pretty much going into the same thing Isaiah was speaking about. This is verse 1. But in the last days it shall come to pass that the mountain of the house of Yahweh shall be established in the top of the mountains, and it shall be exalted above the hills, and people shall flow to it. Because it said the top of the mountain, so it's going to be the top government of the earth. Just like Esau right now is. Even though you have little governments here and there, but ultimately who they got to answer to. Verse 2: And many nations shall come and say, Come and let us go up to the mountain of Yahweh, and to the house of the power of Jacob, and he will teach us of his ways, and we will walk in his paths. For the law shall go forth of Zion, and the word of the Lord Yahweh from Jerusalem.
Yep, so going into the point the brother's making earlier about the people in the land now, they don't honor the law. Okay, they have Tel Aviv, they have these other things that are not acceptable unto the eyes of the Lord. Right? They do these things that are not convenient. Right? So obviously they're imposters, okay, they're posers, and they're ultimately being exposed. Okay, the Ashkenazi Jews, okay, the Amalekites, that's who they really are. Okay, they're not the people of the Lord because they can't keep His ways. Okay? You say you're known by your actions. Right? Everything they've been doing has been contrary. That's why we know with Revelation 2nd chapter 9 verse, Revelation 3rd chapter 9 verse, says that the synagogues of Satan. Okay, they do the work of Satan. Right?
And where's if they're truly the people of the Lord, then that's supposed to be the Bible being biblical prophecy being fulfilled with them being in the land. Where's King David?
Oh yeah, kind of.
Which what's his name? What's his name? Netanyahu?
Oh yeah, Yahoo.
Yeah, that dude
not a Jew.
He's a freaking yeah. Let me get this real quick. Just read this. This is just real quick. Jeremiah 30, and verse 9. I'll get straight to the point. It says, But they shall serve Yahweh their power, and David their king, whom I will raise up unto them.
Yeah, because again, there's a power structure the Lord is setting up, according to His kingdom. All right, so where are these people that are supposed to be in power right now? Those are the people. All right, where's our king?
Because they'll say, yeah, well, that the fulfillment was then getting brought from all the different lands during the Nazi crusades. that they'll say that's the fulfillment of this next verse. It says, therefore fear thou not, O my servant Jacob, saith Yahweh, neither be dismayed, O Israel, for lo, I will save thee from afar, and thy seed from the land of their captivity. And Jacob shall return, and it shall be in rest, and be quiet, and none shall make him afraid. They're afraid of getting bombed every day by Iran, and the Gaza strips, they're fighting every day. There ain't no peace over there, It's clearly not the people of the Lord.
Go back to the one point, Micah. It's probably the same thing.
Yes.
Okay, but
Well, we can keep going on Micah, though. Back in Micah, chapter 4. Read the next few verses. This is verse 3, Micah 4 and 3. And he shall judge among many people, and rebuke strong nations afar off. And they shall beat their swords into plowshares, and their spears into pruning hooks, because they're still going to be, around the world, there's still going to be militaries that don't use all their tanks, and all that's going to be melted down, all the guns, all the military shit that still remains after nuclear destruction around the world, all that's going to be melted down and made into farming tools, like the brother was saying, the pruning hook. What else to say? The plowshares, and we're gonna need a lot of it, man. We're gonna need a lot of the farming equipment. Well, not us, but our slaves. They're gonna need a lot of. But they're gonna do the melting down, and then they're gonna make the tools, and then they're gonna plow the fields. It says, but they shall sit every man under his vine. It's verse 4. But they shall sit every man under his vine and under his fig tree, and none shall make them afraid. So, like we read in Jeremiah, they ain't supposed to. The people of the Lord ain't supposed to be afraid when they get established in the land.
Because with the chapter today, Revelation 22nd chapter says there shall be no more curse. Because one of the curses that will have no surety of life. So that's going to be done away with. No more tears, none of that. Okay.
Finish that verse up. It says, and none shall make them afraid, for the mouth of Yahweh of hosts hath spoken it. Good. All right. So in the book of
Daniel, chapter 2. Daniel chapter 2, we'll start at verse 44. It says, in the days of these kings shall the power of heaven set up a kingdom, which shall never be destroyed.
Real quick, so it says in the days of these kings, because this is going into the statue in Daniel. Okay, he's going into the heathen power structure, these nations that will come before the kingdom of heaven. So it says in the days of these kings, talking about the 10 horns. Because it said on those 10 horns, there were 10 crowns. So in the days of these kings will turn now, which today would be the EU. All right?
Like into the 10 toes.
Yeah, exactly.
But it is the 10 toes.
Right, I'll read that again. Daniel 2 and 44. In the days of these kings shall the God, or the power of heaven, set up a kingdom, which shall never be destroyed, and the kingdom shall not be left to another people.
Yep, so again, it's only for Israel. Okay, the Lord exclusively, this kingdom is only for us. All right, and it says, so do not be left to other people. Okay, that's why in the Revelation, going to the 12 gates, there's only 12 gates for the 12 tribes. Okay, the only way they're going to enter in is because they're slaves. They're going to be carrying goods and resources into the kingdom, going back and forth. All right,
it says, shall not be left to another people, but it shall break in pieces and consume all these kingdoms, and it shall stand forever.
So, and that's going to be why via Yahweh Shai. Okay, because going into that, what's going to, reading going into that rock, okay, it's going to take down all, the rulerships of pretty much the kings of this world, kings of Moab, kings of Ammon. Okay, they're still going to be, so to say, kings in their own right, but they're not going to be in the power that they're in right now. It's going to be taken from them. All right, and the kingdom that's coming is not going to be destroyed. So obviously, this kingdom is going to be destroyed. So it's not this kingdom. All right, it's the next kingdom that's coming. So they said in the days of these kingdoms was important because the timing. Again, the timing. Okay, that's why I read earlier. It says in the last days, Lord will set up Israel. Okay, and that's what's happening right now.
Verse 45. For as much as thou sawest that the stone was cut out of the mountain without hands, and that it break in pieces the iron, the brass, the clay, the silver, and the gold. The great power hath made known to the king what shall come to pass hereafter. And the dream is certain, and the interpretation thereof sure.
The dream is certain, okay, and the text and the interpretation is sure, okay, because that's why, again, going into after the second chapter, these things are said for an appointed time. Everything that the Lord has said happened in this time. Okay, so the time now is when this statue is going to be thrown down. Okay, these heathen nations, these heathen rulerships are going to be done away with. And Esau, Edom is the end of the world, so that's going to be the last kingdom that's going to be part of that heathen power structure of these other nations. You got something?
Yeah, this is Revelations 19 in verse 11. Revelations 19 in verse 11. The point is like verse 12. And I saw heaven open, and behold, a white horse, and he that sat upon him was called Faithful and True. And in righteousness he doth judge and make war. His
obviously talking about Yahushua. So Yahushua is coming to do something, right? He's coming to conquer, right? Go ahead.
Verse 12.
Real quick, that white horse is symbolic. It's symbolic for power, your pure power. But it's gonna be that chariot, He's gonna come on that chariot,
Verse
That's how he's gonna bring war. He's gonna bring the war in the heaven.
But ain't talking about Pegasus.
Winged horse.
Yeah.
It's that Greek mythology.
Hey, and that's a part of the Council of Nicaea when they start putting other philosophies on the scriptures as far as the virgin birth.
That's how you got the Brahms bullshit talk about Pegasus.
Worship on Sunday.
Yeah, that's all I want to say.
Verse 12, Revelations 19 and verse 12. His eyes were as a flame of fire, and on his head were many crowns.
Yep, that's spirit. He's coming to conquer. He's coming to take these heathen rulers. Okay, against especially Esau, Edom. Okay, because right now he's in the hot power seat right now. He's going to be taken down. All right.
And he had a name written that no man knew but himself.
Yeah, so it's not saying name. Obviously, we know the name of the Lord. If you go into obviously, you can go into that word name. It's really rank. Okay, we probably can get into it. Because no man knew his rank. Okay, obviously Yahushua is number one. He's under Yahushua. Under Yahweh is number.
And to back you up, that's why Isaiah 40 it says, "He come in the volume of the book, and it's written of him." So you will know his rank if you actually read the scriptures and know what Yahushua done for the whole nation of Israel. All right, that's how you know his rank. And that's why in the book of John, the first chapter, it says, "He come in the volume of the book, it is written of him." All right, and he was made flesh. All right.
Revelation chapter 12, start on verse 7. It says, Revelation 12 and 7. And there was a war in heaven. Michael and his angels fought against the dragon, and the dragon fought his angels.
Yep. So the dragon is talking about a power structure. Okay, the beast. All right, because this kingdom is likened unto a beast. Because it has ultimately because the military. Because you're going into the iron mixed with miry clay. The iron is the military, the strength. All right, so this kingdom, going to the structure of Esau, Edom is likened unto a beast. All right, so the beast is going to make war with the Lord. All right, and that's ultimately his military, his Air Force. Now you got the Space Force. That's what's going to happen. Right?
It says, verse 8, and prevailed not.
And prevailed not. He lost.
Neither was there a place found any more in heaven.
Yep. So heaven, talking about here his rulership. Yeah, he's not going to be found no more because he's getting ready to be taken out. He's going to be here for a little bit because he's going to go into slavery. All right, but meaning he's not going to be important no more. He's not going to be the head top dog no more. He's going to be taken out. He's going to be destroyed.
It says, verse 9, and the great dragon was cast out, that old serpent called the devil and Satan, which deceiveth the whole world. He was cast out into the earth, and his angels were cast down with him.
Yep, because that's what Esau did. Okay, when he was loose, for that little season, he went out going into he fell during the time of the Dark Ages, going into the Byzantine Empire. When the Roman Empire fell, he came back into power during the time of the Renaissance. So Esau in the time of the Renaissance, around the 1400s, especially when Christopher Columbus started sailing the seas, that's when he started going out and deceiving the nations. Okay, he's been loose for that little season. And that little season is ending up right now. okay? Because now he can't get nobody with the okie doke no more. People all on this shit, okay? No one's trying to take no virus, believing in the virus, not taking the vaccine, okay? In the UK, it's saying stick the vaccine up your ass, okay? The people are not having it no more because he's losing his power and he's grabbing his hair and losing it because he knows he's done. Okay, you probably get Revelation 12 and 12 too, because ultimately, again, we're talking about the end. That's always about, because we brought about 2nd and 6th chapter, it's about Jacob and Esau. Okay, it's always been about Jacob and Esau, of course, under Yahweh Shai, but the story goes, the so-called black man and the so-called white man. All right, so the Lord said the so-called white man will be in power in these last days, and he's going to be destroyed. All right, so that's what we're looking for. All right,
I can read it on to the 12th.
yeah, go ahead.
Verse 10, it says, "And I heard a loud voice saying in heaven, now is come salvation and strength and the power of our power, and the kingdom of our power, and the power of his anointed. For the accuser of our brethren is cast down."
Yep, the accuser of our brethren is Esau Edom. Okay, him that put the likeness of his image, stolen our identity, okay, and making tons of bread off our heritage.
That's
right?
another, the word devil goes into accuser,
Okay.
slanderer.
Yeah, because that's why Esau goes out of his way, to put you on Bay News 9 and say everything you're doing wrong. But while he's in the top rise building, he's getting millions of dollars on fraud. Okay, that's the accused of our brethren. Esau, even so-called white man, accusing us daily, okay, against our power. All right.
For the accuser of our brethren is cast down, which accused them before our power day and night. And they overcame him by the blood of the Lamb, Yahweh Shai,
Yep.
and by the word of their testimony, and they loved not their lives unto death.
Yep. And the word of our testimony is the spirit of prophecy. All right, we kept prophecy. Okay, that's why hold thou fast what thou hast. Because thou hast kept the word of my patience. Okay, that's what the devil is designed to do, to try to take that from you, because he knows he's done. His job is to deceive you, try to take your faith. Right? What was that movie Glass, when that bitch set everybody down and try to trick you to believe that you're not really a superhero? Okay, but we really are.
And that's what they did. Esau, ultimately, that's what he's done to Israel.
Yep.
Lied to you, telling you ain't shit. You just a nigga.
Yep, because that's the curses he gave us by words in Proverbs.
Verse 12, "Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you having great wrath, because he knoweth that he hath but a short time."
Yep, so it's a split, okay, because it's talking about two different people at the time. Because it says, "Rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell there." It's talking about the elect, okay, and it says, "Woe to the inhabitants of the earth." Okay, going into the rest of the 2/3. The rest of the 2/3, and ultimately the wicked of the other nations. Okay, because this devil's gonna come down with great wrath because he knows his kingdom is done. All right, so he's gonna try to wage war on everybody, everything. He's gonna try to nuke everything, try to go to Mars. All right, but that's why going into the mercy of Yahweh Shai, the Lord said, "For the elect's sake, no flesh should be saved." Okay, just like in Genesis 6th chapter, how the Lord was hot with creation, He found grace with Noah. Okay, we're spiritual Noahs. We're part of the elect. So those will be saved this time to come, because the devil's getting ready to go ham.
Let me get the next verse if I could.
Okay.
Verse 13, Revelation 12 and 13. It says, "And when the dragon saw that he was cast unto the earth, he persecuted the woman which brought forth the man child."
Yep, the woman is Israel. Okay, persecuting us, because that's what again the time we're coming into. They're gonna try to do what they always did. Even our own people, old Jerusalem that kills the prophets. Okay, so they're gonna try to put hands on the prophets because they can't touch the Lord. So we're gonna try to touch the closest thing unto Him, which is us. Right? The Lord's not gonna have that because He did that in that time. All the apostles going back then in the time of the Roman Empire, they all died. Okay, but here in this time, we believe through the Spirit, right? It was gonna be straight. Okay, all the blood of the prophets and the Lord's servants back then are required of this generation. Right?
Real quick, just to tie it up with what that it said in verse 10 about the accuser of thy brethren, it said that the dragon was going to persecute them. So when you're persecuted in the courts, you're accused of a certain crime. So that's what that dragon was doing, just to tie it up, to show you who the devil is, which is the dragon, which is what? That Roman system back again. And who's spearheading that? Esau, with the whore on top, Somebody running from the
This is Job. I'm gonna start at verse 4. Yeah, I'll read down to verse 10. This is Job, chapter 20, verse 4.
Hey, Salak, real quick, man. This is the sounds you're gonna be hearing on a daily basis. Coming here real soon, man.
Until the battery dies on that bitch.
When like you read in verse 12, say he come, he's coming down upon you, great wrath. This is all you're gonna hear, because Esau's gonna come rolling on Jake, man.
Helicopters.
Gunshots.
Yeah, that's it. It's like a movie. And in that time, Job, the 5th chapter says we're going to laugh at the destruction, man. We're going to actually get the Lord will put the spirit on the elect to be laughing at your destruction. Because the whole time, he put it on our spirit to come out here and tell you what's crying out in the streets. So when this destruction comes, don't look over here, because we ain't going to be out here in the corners, man. You know?
You're going to look and not find.
That's right. This is Job, chapter 20, verse 4. Knowest thou not this of old, since man was placed upon earth, that the triumphing of the wicked is short, and the joy of the hypocrite but for a moment? Though his excellency mount up to the heavens, and his head reaches unto the clouds, yet he shall perish forever, like his own dung. All right, so don't be amazed because the so-called white man Esau Edom, all right, is able to bring miracles to pass with his RFID chip that's getting ready to be made mandatory. All right, because he's able to make the blind to see. All right, okay, because he's able to make the lame walk. All right, okay, the chip ain't nothing but a demise, man. Okay, it's nothing but a device. And the scriptures tell you, fret not thyself against him who is able to make devices come to pass. You see? So don't fret yourself because this man is able to do all these things. Man, have faith in Yahweh Shem Yahushua. And it reads, yet he shall perish forever like his own dung. They which have seen him shall say, where is he? And that's the spirit of the elect. We're going to be like, damn, where the hell is this man at? You know, his chip, he had the chip pop off, but in that time of destruction, the Lord is going to get a man of the Lord. The powers to manifest food in that time. Hey, we able to manifest fire in that time, man. You know, can't lead hundreds of thousands of people in that time, man. So don't be afraid of this, man. Why be afraid of a man that shall perish as flesh? His flesh is as grass. You know. Verse 8: he shall fly away as a dream, and shall not be found. Yea, he shall be chased away as a vision of the night.
So, going into Esau, he's the only nation that's promised no mercy because he showed no mercy. So going into him perishing forever, that's literal. Okay, the Lord said, I'm gonna punish you, I'm gonna destroy it till I destroy thee. Talking about us and the curses, it's for a time period. The Lord didn't mean he was gonna destroy us forever, but when he says that for Esau Edom, he really means that. Esau Edom is done, so the white man is done.
Even the scholars, the biblical scholars understand it. And the Zondervan Bible Compact Dictionary tells you the only nation that will not receive mercy from the Lord. That's why ultimately, like the dream, you can't recall back a dream, you like replay it in your mind. That's how he's gonna be. He's gonna be gone, man, forever.
So in the book of Obadiah, starting at verse 2, it says, behold, I have made thee small among the heathen.
We'll start at 1. Might as well. Yeah. Let them know who it's about.
Obadiah, verse 1. Yeah, you're right. The vision of Obadiah. Thus saith the Lord concerning Edom. We have heard a rumor from the Lord, Yahweh Shem Yahushua, and an ambassador is sent among the heathen.
Yeah, because like you say in school, I heard about your ass. You in the hallway, you say, I heard about what happened to such and such. I was talking about you such and such a white man.
Arise ye, and let us rise up against her in battle.
So going into being made small, these other nations are getting raised up against him. They're not afraid of him no more. That's again a sign of he's losing power. Okay, because no one's scared of his guns, his technology. These other nations are gearing up for as we speak.
Hey, you see, so like real quick, you see every time on the news when a country, like for example North Korea, they just had that nuclear, they got a new nuclear missile. Yeah. Every time these nations come out and say they got a missile, they say they can reach the America. Like they ain't afraid to say like, look, we building bombs to defend ourselves against you. They ain't afraid to come out and say it no more.
Why America? Why not Nicaragua?
Yeah, exactly.
Russia, even Russia. Why they say we can hit Russia?
Yeah.
They don't care about that. America.
Behold, I have made thee small among the heathen, thou art greatly despised. The pride of thine heart hath deceived thee, thou that dwellest in the cleft of the rocks.
Yeah, the pride of thine heart had deceived thee, because going into all these other heathen nations, the same thing, they fall into the pretty much the same downfall. They fall in the same steps. They get puffed up and they get prideful as hell and forget about Yahweh Shai, the one who set them up. All right. So Esau, Edom, from the get-go, he never thought about Yahweh Shai. All right. From all this time, he never got judged for that. All this stuff is now you got posters and signs, and you can go online look for yourself. And it's so much stuff we can't even get into because the Lord really jacked us up using Esau, but he never had to pay for that. All right. And then coming into the time now is the time of he's gonna get judged for when he gets to our people. Right?
The pride of thine heart hath deceived thee, thou that dwellest in the cleft of the rock, whose habitation is high, that saith in his heart, who shall bring me down to the ground? Though thou exalt thyself as the eagle.
Hey, real quick, that's spiritual and physical too. His habitation is high. That's spiritual too, because he's at the height of all the kingdoms. This is the highest kingdom that's ever been established. And physically too, skyscrapers and shit. But they call it a concrete canyon. New York is a concrete canyon. Just like
concrete jungle.
Concrete jungle, just like how he used to live in the caves. Feels right at home within concrete walls.
Shun him back to his jungle lair.
Yeah, so it says, though thou exalt thyself as the eagle, and though thou set thy nest among the stars, thence will I bring thee down, saith the Lord Yahweh Shem Shai.
Yep, and then going into when Esau shot up to the moon, 1969 around that time, that's when he really started to fall. After that, 1969, Esau been on a straight decline. Right, because when he shot up out of heaven, his time clock started ticking. Because at that time, that's when Abba Bivens, the quiet in the wilderness, woke our people, start waking our people back up again.
Yeah, I got some here. In the book of 2nd Esdras, chapter 11. Let's start up at verse 38. It says, 2nd Esdras, chapter 11 and 38. Hear thou, I will talk with thee, and the highest shall say unto thee, Art not thou it that remainest of the four beasts, whom I made to reign in my world, that the end of their times might come through them? And, the four beast, being the Roman Empire. Okay, and this basically is a continuation of that.
It's the wound that was healed. America is the refreshed beast that was healed or wounded. It was healed, he was wounded.
And it says, verse 40, and the fourth came and overcame all the beasts that were past, and had power over the world with great fearfulness, and over the whole compass of the earth, which much wicked oppression.
Yeah, because it goes into Esau's military technology. Same in the Roman Empire. Was it the phalanx, the sticks, and all that? If I'm not mistaken. When they had the military with the sticks. How was it?
Bayonets.
Bayonets, yeah. Are you talking about like the formation?
The formation.
Yeah, I don't remember what they call it.
I don't know what they call it. Yeah,
but going into Esau's military wisdom, and going into time now is these thermonuclear missiles. That's why it says he's able to make fire come from heaven. That's one of the miracles he can do.
That's when it describes and it said that their iron teeth, that's the power of the military. Really started back in the Greeks, during the Greeks. Alexander the Greek was taking over, but then once they got that equipment in the Roman Empire, started making tools with that iron, in the barracks and shit, they were unstoppable.
And that shows you again who this man really is, because going into Esau's blessing is the sword. Right, so that's how you know this. We're talking about Esau eating so right now.
What's that in the second? That's only the mystery of iniquity. But already only he that will let be taken out of the way.
Right, because he the man of sin, the son of perdition. Right? He has to bring destruction with his sword. He destroyed, blowing whole cities up, man.
He's the only one capable. Others are now, but he's capable.
He's the only one that's actually done it. Right. With the atomic bombs.
Right. And that's why he said, "I become death, the destroyer of worlds." That's a clue to Revelations. What's that? Revelations. I become the pale horse. Death. That's a clue. That's according to who the devil is, who the wicked is being the earth.
So I'm going to read verse 40 again and read on down. 2nd Ezra 11 and 40. And the fourth came, that beast, and overcame all the beasts that were past, and had power over the world with great fearfulness, and over the whole compass of the earth with much wicked oppression.
That's how America rules. Yeah, it started what in Rome. Because the concepts of how America rules the world, they took from the ancient Romans, the ancient pagan Roman Empire.
It says, and so long time dwelt he upon the earth with deceit.
Yep, yeah, you gotta get that 6.
I got something real quick. Just, Jeremiah 49. Real quick. Jeremiah 49. Jeremiah chapter 49 in verse 17. Also Edom shall be a desolation. Everyone that goeth by it shall be astonished, and shall hiss at the plagues thereof. As in the overthrow of Sodom and Gomorrah, and in the neighbor cities thereof, saith the Lord.
And also, just like ancient Egypt, going on all the plagues, because these other nations are around ancient Egypt, best believe they were talking about what's happening in Egypt. All right, that's going to be happening again in these times. Going to read Revelation 18 chapter about these other nations seeing the destruction of so-called America.
And that's how you know that America is going to be destroyed with missiles. Because how did Sodom and Gomorrah go out? With fire and brimstone. And the Lord, that was nuclear destruction, really. But the Lord just manifested it. It's not going to be, wasn't with, Esau's weapons of mass destruction. Yeah. The Lord just manifested it.
It says, no man shall abide there. Speaking of Babylon the Great. It says, neither shall a son of man dwell in it. 2 Thessalonians chapter 2 and 2 Thessalonians chapter 2 verse 5. Remember ye not that when I was yet with you, I told you of these things.
Because the Spirit is on Apostle Paul, to going into, because Jake at that time thought the kingdom was to be at that time. So pretty much Paul's making it clear that it's not this time, it's talking about time to come.
Right. And now ye know what withholdeth, that he might be revealed in his time.
So revealed in his time, well, you probably keep it.
For the mystery of iniquity doth already work. Only he.
Yeah, I was talking about the Roman Empire. The mystery of iniquity doth already work, because this was written when what they were, already, past. They were going down at this point. Starting to go down because of the internal squabbles, but that the history of iniquity talking about the Edomites.
The disciples were already sent forth, and the Lord always does that before the downfall of a nation.
Just like now, that's how you know this place is out here. The prophets out here. That's why when the Lord was on the scene, that was roughly, estimation 33 AD around there. Then these books were written around 60 AD, or the letters. Then Revelation was about 93 AD. The first Jake ruler, I believe, was in like 90-something AD. So they was out of there, man. So that's when they started going down. The prophets are on the scene. You don't have much time left, man. And we've been out, beginning with the elder apostles on down, and their elders, we've been out here for just about the same amount of time that the disciples were in during that time. So we at the end of this thing, man.
Verse 7, 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, verse 7. For the mystery of iniquity doth already work. Only he who now letteth will let until he be taken out of the way.
Yeah, so the Heavenly Father let Esau, continue on doing these things. Because again, it's a series of events that had to take place. So it said revealed in this time. It's being revealed because now it's the time for it to be revealed. Because at that time, probably going into Yahushua, of course he knew who Esau was, but ultimately it wasn't that time for it to be revealed yet. Because now Esau is in that power structure and pretty much a setup for when the Lord's going to come back and fight against him. Right?
Yeah, and that's why, back you up, brother, the scriptures say, he shall make their tongues to fall upon himself. This is that time. You have a lot of, not Jake, a lot of Jake don't know what the hell going on, except for the elect. But a lot of whistleblowers is coming out of Esau Edom, man. You know, they telling you that the so-called white man Esau Edom is he's the one who's setting up these abortions, all right, so that he can they have a fetish with adrenochrome, all right, adrenochrome, man. You see, all right, so it's himself putting out the information, man. You know what I mean? So that's him being revealed in this time. You know, because we ain't got to do all the work. Of course, with the prophets, but Esau Edom telling it on himself, man.
That's going to Satan, dividing against Satan. Right. You know, that's nothing new. You know, going into Balak and Balaam, you know, there was he got condemned. You know, just try to prophesy against Israel, he ended up prophesying against Edom. You know, all the nations, they got cut. You know, so these are the whistleblowers now. They're in the same spirit. This is Joel 2nd chapter. It says, "And to put a spirit upon all flesh." This one's going to prophesy.
The Lord said He's gonna make His tongue fall upon Himself. You know, using Esau to expose himself. Niggas selling out. You got Edomites selling out.
Vigilant Christian.
Yeah.
Vigilant Christian. Yeah. Going hard. You know? Verse 8. And then shall that wicked be revealed.
Yep. So and then, so it's in events, like then, after. You know, so it's about timing. So the timing is now. Right?
Whom the Lord shall consume with the spirit of His mouth.
Yep. And the spirit of His mouth is that brother was just reading. His brother was just reading. The spirit of the Lord's on me. I'm speaking. That's the spirit of His mouth. Okay. The Lord's servants, the prophets.
And shall destroy with the brightness of His coming.
Yep. So these thermonuclear missiles, right? The brightness of His coming. Right. So and before that, there was going to be a fleet, an army of chariots lighting up the sky. Okay. And y'all try to be on the biggest one, be on the fathership. Right.
Verse 9. Even him whose coming is after the working of Satan, with all powers and signs and lying wonders.
Yep, lying wonder now that we're waiting for this is RP microchip. All right, this mark of the beast. That's a lying wonder that we're waiting for to be revealed very, very soon. Which we know is here, it's just He's going to implement it. All right,
Because He don't want to come out and just say it right away like that. You know,
he's spooked now because people is on him. He got eyes on him. You know, it's different when someone got eyes on you. You're not as tempted to steal or do some wicked shit because now you got eyes on you. All right, this devil. We read Revelation 12 and 12. He don't care no more. Right? He's doing with the games. He has no more tricks. So maybe he can trick you by actually telling them the truth that he's already done. That was good. Go back to
Back in the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 11, and I'll read verse 40 again and read on down. It says, "And the fourth came and overcame all the beasts that were past, and had power over the world with great fearfulness, and over the whole compass of the earth with much wicked oppression. And so long time dwelt he upon the earth with deceit."
And that's what's happening today, you know. The oppression, they rule with oppression, you know, and deceit. Which is what? It's the beast in Revelation. The beast that go to deceive the whole earth, you know, for a little season.
For a little season, yeah.
And that season is up, about to be up.
For the earth hast thou not judged with truth. Talking about Esau Edom. For thou hast afflicted the meek. Thou hast hurt the peaceable. Thou hast loved liars, and destroyed the dwellings of them that brought forth fruit, and hast cast down the whole walls of Slackit, and hast cast down the walls of such as did thee no harm.
Yeah. Talking about us. It was going into Antiochus Epiphanes. He went through storm because he got butthurt because the Romans told him to get the fuck out. You know, so they went in Jerusalem and he took all all our stuff in our temples and made us eat swine, all this other crazy stuff because for no reason.
He felt some type of way.
Yeah, he felt some type of way.
It says, verse 43. Therefore is thy wrongful dealings come up unto the highest, and thy pride unto the mighty.
Yep, because that's the Inquisition. Now is the time when the Lord is dealing with this case. Because the Lord is watching, He was letting this thing build up. It says in Psalm 50 chapter, thou hast done these things and I have kept silence. So now's the time when the Lord, He got the judgment on His table, He's getting ready to make a move. And that's ultimately when the time we're now, waiting for the Lord to make His move. All right?
That transition is coming. Because what Scripture say, on righteous decrees and riches gotten by deceit, now is the kingdom translated from one people to another. This man has not acknowledged the poor. And the way to get to the Most High Yahweh Shah is to acknowledge the poor. You see, and that's why Scripture say, "Let favor be shown to the wicked, yet will he not know righteousness in the land." You know.
Yeah, the precept.
Yeah, not yet.
Okay. All right, let me finish this. I'll read verse 43 again, read on down. So 2nd Ezra 11, verse 43. Therefore is thy wrongful dealings come up unto the highest, and thy pride unto the mighty. And his mighty, it's capital. It's talking about God, Yahweh Hashem Yahushua.
The Almighty.
The Almighty. Verse 44. The highest also hath looked upon the proud times, and behold, they are ended, and his abominations are fulfilled.
Yeah, that's the proud times. Because no more good old American pride. You got football, there's nobody in the stands. What is America without football? So, go ahead.
Even baseball, they got digital cartoons and shit in the crowd, like the NBA too.
Yep. Yeah. Job 14:5. See, his days are determined, the number of his months are with thee. Thou hast appointed his bounds that he cannot pass.
Yep, so there's nothing he can do. When your time is up, your time is up.
Sir.
Okay, so Esau has a time where you cannot pass. Like, you're not passing this time. And that's what Esau's getting boxed in. All right, and then pretty much he's going to have to make his move, which also the Lord making his move, and his man's going to be taken out, destroyed.
He hit his ceiling.
That's it. Maxed out.
Maxed out. Red line.
And the engine about to blow down.
Real quick, and entertainment generates money. You come together, they have the hot dogs, the beer, the pay-per-view and all that. That generates money. So with that gone, the bread and circuses going back into Rome, then that's pretty much it.
Yeah,
The show's over.
Kingdom come. Yeah.
And don't nobody even want to come over. You got people that live here want to leave. There's no more bread and circus because that attracts a lot of tourism. No one wants to come to the cities of Los Angeles. You got bums everywhere, shit everywhere. The proud times is that. Right?
Yes, I'll read 44 again. 2nd Ezra 11 and 44. The highest also hath looked upon the proud times, and behold, they are ended, and his abominations are fulfilled. And therefore appear no more thou eagle, nor thy horrible wings, nor thy wicked feathers, nor thy malicious heads, nor thy hurtful claws, nor all thy vain bodies.
Yep, because at that time that happened, going into the Roman Empire, the heads going into the Caesars, the body going into the Senate and the government, and that's done away with. But now in that time, because again, Brother quoted, the prophecy about the dead won't be healed is provised here in this time. It didn't die. It came back alive, so it's going to be done away again for sure this time. Right?
And you see it said the eagle, so you know who that's referring to.
Eagle face up.
He that exalted himself, like an eagle, Obadiah.
Yeah, we're gonna get into it.
And that's why the Lord put the spirit on him to always make it his national bird, man.
Yep.
The Greeks had it, the Romans had it, America got it.
Germany.
The Nazis, yeah. I think Russia, I can't remember what, maybe it was when they were the Soviet Union, but they always got some form of symbolism with the eagle. The Edomites, they love that shit. They love the eagle. But what? It's an unclean bird, man. One of the filthiest birds. Then it exalts itself, It exalts itself up high, the nest and shit is always higher than any other nest. So
Esau is the eagle, and that's why it says in 45th verse, it says, and therefore appear no more thou eagle.
Hey, and one of the characteristics of an eagle, it's a bully. It steals from the osprey, because the osprey is good at fishing. So to sit and watch the osprey come down, grab up the fish, and then go steal it from him, that's one of the characteristics of the eagle.
And the wingspan is what? Huge. It's like Esau's wingspan, his reach around the earth is what? He's gone around the whole earth.
Yeah. He got the fatness, the blessing.
Verse 46, last verse, it says that all the earth may be refreshed and may return, being delivered from thy violence, and that she may hope for the judgment and mercy of him that made her.
Yep, because the earth is sick. Okay, I know Brother Kanakla made a video about destroying that destroyed the earth. This place is not being able to give forth its strength because the devil's in shit. We don't keep the laws. That's why the whole earth is at course. So that's why it says the earth is going to break forth singing. The first foremost the people. And going into probably some get Proverbs about when the righteous own authority.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I get it.
Real quick, the spirit or the inspiration behind that video is because they go into electric cars. But electric cars, the mining to get the lithium out of the ground is actually So it's like the Lord has called, like, no matter which way you go, we're gonna go to electric cars. Oh, and they promote like, oh, it's green, it's good for the environment. But down there in Chile, South America, it's getting rid of all the natural water supply. It's just destroying the environment, you know. So no matter which way Esau go, electric or gas, he's destroying the earth.
Plus the electric, when you go to charge it, where you gonna get the electricity from?
Yeah.
From the factories that are blowing smoke. You know?
Yeah, I seen a meme the other day. It said, look, even electric companies support efficiency or something. You see a Tesla with a generator attached to the back of it, and the generator's just pumping black smoke as it's charging the Tesla. They support the environment or something like that.
It is. Esau got this great technology. It's actually worse.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be good.
His technology really just kills either you or the earth, you know, or both. You know.
Typically, it's both.
Yeah, that's how Esau was able to deceive the world with his miracles, you know, because he depicted this the whole technological advances in the medical industry and the financial industries, and pretty much every industry has been, you know, looked at as, you know, oh man, like we would have never thought we could do something like this, but the people have been deceived by all that because it's made things worse.
Yep.
You know, like your brothers have been saying.
Yeah, because it's literally out of world technology. Because the Lord blessed Esau, and that's why John, the Revelator, he was marveled when he saw the vision, and that's why he got rebuked. You know, because the angel was going to tell him destruction coming to this place.
He's more greatly at it.
He's like, God damn.
He fell in love with the Lord. You know.
That shows the power that the Lord gave this place.
Proverbs chapter 29, verse 2. When the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice.
So ask yourself that question. Are the people rejoicing right now? So obviously the righteous are not in English.
But when the wicked bear fruit, the people mourn.
Yep, you see that all the time. In the Publix, at your job, people just got a sulky, sad face on them because they're catching hell.
Yep.
You know, they can't meet ends meet. You know, and if they have some type of joy, it's very short-lived. You know, so again, when the wicked are on the authority, the people mourn. That's why no one's going to be upset when this devil is taken out.
Exactly.
For a little bit, you know, going to merchants are going to cry and weep. They're going to get over it because they're going to see all the greatness coming from Israel. Unless you got something.
I got some real quick. Isaiah.
Because even the earth itself is going to change. You know, the actual earth is going to change. The animals are going to change. You know, so the people are going to be looking and be like, damn, the earth itself has changed. Like it's in a whole different state. You know, it's going to be flourishing. Trees are going to be huge. You know, I'm talking about huge, man.
Yeah, because I remember Apostle Hari going into decades, they had different spirits. You know, so the 2000s had a different spirit than the 2010s. So imagine when the righteous and authority is going to have a whole different spirit on it.
It's going to get better and better. You know?
Yeah.
As the kingdom grows.
You saw that real quick during COVID, the shutdown.
Okay.
Certain birds and animals started coming out, and the water got cleaner, and the air pollution went down just from weeks of just being shut down.
Yeah,
You know?
and that shows you that in Iron Legend, remember? The day was running in New York City, all the trees was gone, and it was probably like a couple months, and look how much started recovering already.
I got some real quick. Isaiah 14, verse 7. The whole earth is at rest and is quiet. They break. Isaiah 14, verse 7. The whole earth is at rest and is quiet. They break forth into singing. Yea, the fir trees rejoice at thee, and the cedars of Lebanon, saying, since thou art laid down, no feather is come up against us.
Yep, so since when Esau goes down, okay, that's when the earth's going to come into rest, because it's not no rest for the earth, because this devil don't give this place no rest. He going to us, you know, whack or wearing out the saints, you know. You don't lay up the yoke for nobody. The air, the trees. You know, this man's printing paper by the millions as we speak, and it's printing out his fake money.
Like the jungle, this nigga out down there in the Amazon jungle destroying it. And the Congo jungle doing the same thing. But this law tells you what trees you can cut down and what trees you're not supposed to cut down. Trees that bring fruit, you're not supposed to cut them down. The Amazon jungle has nothing but fruit. But this nigga in there just laying waste to it, you know?
And if I can say, like the brother's going into out there in the Amazon, that's like one of the biggest, you know, what they call, quote unquote, the lungs of the earth. All right, so as people talk about air quality pollution and breathing problems and so on and so forth, well, this nigga is the one that's cutting down all these things. You know, they talk about what they call that pollution, the carbon pollution or whatever, whatnot, you know.
Carbon footprint.
Yeah. But in reality, all the cars on the whole earth, if you ran all that shit for 100 years, man, in 15 minutes of a volcano erupting, the volcano pollutes the damn earth way more than all the shit that we got, right? But you have the offset of the forests and things like that to clean that. That's their food, you know. They eat the poison and spit out oxygen that we can eat. You know, it's a filtration system, but he's cutting off the lungs, man.
Yeah, because there's a natural system. Okay, because when that natural system is disturbed, then you have issues. So Esau is fucking up the natural system, right? Because the volcano, there's a balance somewhere. And they're going into the Amazon rainforest.
Yeah.
Okay, as much as smoke that those volcanoes shoot out, as much as them trees suck up all that smoke in there. But this devil, he cut all that equation out, and that's why everything's fucked up.
Plus, when volcanoes erupt, what happens? The island grows, man. Right. And when they cool down, one of the elders had sent a video. What was it? Of stones. I forgot what exact stone it was, but that shit grew in like 5 days, bro. Out of nowhere, you know.
It was probably silici.
Silica, kind of.
Those grow like I think a couple inches a day.
Yeah. So imagine what and that's usually the most fertile
Something
thing,
like
the land that comes after that. With like Hawaii, why do you think it's so fertile like that? You know, which is a paradise over there because of volcanoes, man. You know?
Hey, real quick, precept to back up what you brothers are talking about, like where you mentioned the movie I Am Legend about the paths not being all, the earth basically going to start to grow. You'll start seeing, grass and stuff growing in the roads. Just to back that point up, this is 2nd Ezra chapter 16 and verse 32, right to the point. 2nd Ezra chapter 16, verse 32. And the earth shall be laid waste, and the fields thereof shall wax old, and her ways and all her paths shall grow full of thorns, because no man shall travel there through. So when you remove Esau out of the equation, life starts to flourish. Because what? Like it says in Revelation chapter 6, the red horse, what followed him? Death. So everywhere Esau goes, he's destroying everything, man.
It lays down concrete everywhere.
Yep. That's right.
That's that I Am Legend scripture.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. To back the brothers up because he mentioned it,
I Am Legend.
Yeah.
I want to say this too real quick, like the brother spoke on like Amazon, but Esau, going again his pride, he's so prideful, he be like, all right, we don't need the Amazon force, we can cut it down. I just put a machine that can regulate and filtrate, so what you can do, so he can get the credit, like, look, I can build it better than what God has put here. Let me just build a big ass machine that can filter the, and then look, now you dependent on a machine, so if that machine breaks down, see, that's how Esau wanted. That machine breaks down, this is what filters the air. If something happened to this, then we could, the air could be polluted forever, but that's how he worked.
It's funny too, because the Egyptians, they had water filtration systems and all that shit back in the day, but they wasn't fucking up the whole goddamn planet.
Yeah, there's certain plants you can put in water. It's in the scriptures that'll filter water.
The
wood, yeah.
Peat bark. Yeah. And I remember this years ago, I did a video on it. They actually, they weren't going into it saying, oh, look, this is in the Bible, but MIT, that college, it's supposed to be one of them top universities, whatever. They actually did it because I was doing the research. So I had read it in the scriptures, so I started going into it. I found the wood. I can't remember the name of it, but they did it. They recreated that same thing that's in the scriptures. They purified the water.
Yep. They teach that to like Navy SEALs and high-end like military ranks that go out. The Green Beret and all those. They teach them there's certain wood that you can put in water and it'll clean the water.
It's salt water. If it turns, because the scriptures say it's bitter. I believe it goes into bitter. But if you go into it, it was salt water, and that bark or whatever will filter that salt out. So everything is in the earth that you need. You don't need this man's technology.
This wood is like a sponge. When it gets wet, it swells.
It's like a filtration system. That particular bark. I can't remember exactly the way it was done, but it just filtered the salt right out, man.
Isaiah 14.
And it's like, and even minerals filter water, gold, silver, copper. If you drink out, I got a copper cup, I drink out of it every day, man. And all that has benefits to it, different roots you can put in water, all kind of things, man. Go ahead.
Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 6, verse 1. Hear therefore, O ye kings, and understand. Let you brothers get there. Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 6, verse 1. Hear therefore, O ye kings, and understand. Learn ye that be judges of the ends of the earth. Give ear, ye that rule the people, and glory in the multitude of nations. For power is given you of the Lord, and sovereignty from the highest.
Yep, so Esau Edom, he doesn't understand, okay, or we won't acknowledge that he's been given power by Yahweh Shai. Okay, so he's been set up with the spirit by Yahweh Shai for him to be in rulership, right? So this is pretty much a blueprint for what happens when you get rulership. Okay, when you get set up in rulership, you're supposed to honor the Lord. Okay, you honor the Lord by his wisdom, right? So he's saying, hearken unto me, pretty much listen to my words. Okay, go ahead.
Who shall try your works and search out your counsels?
Yep, try your works and search out your counsels. Okay, so Esau, just like, again, going into the second chapter about the ancient kingdoms, they've been found out, and they've been exposed, and they've ultimately been destroyed. Okay, so that's happening again in this time, because the Lord, he doesn't change. How he judges nations and people, he does the same thing. Okay, even for us, that's why we're not in power right now. But he says your counsels are going to be searched out. Okay, when it's found out that this devil, he's up to no good. All right, so now the Lord's getting ready to do something about it. He ain't moving, of course, he made him. But now's the time the Lord's actually going to do something about this. All right?
Verse 4. Because being ministers of his kingdom, you have not judged aright, nor kept the law, nor walked after the counsel of the Most High.
So first and foremost, that's talking about us. Okay, so what happened to us is we didn't hearken on to the words of Yahweh Shai. So this is wisdom of Solomon. So what happened after Solomon fell, when he died? Okay, Jeroboam Rehoboam. Okay, the garment split, and then that's why we had to split the kingdom. Okay, so that's what happened. That's why so and so was wicked. Okay, so and so was wicked. King such and such was wicked. Okay, so that's why we fell. We split, and then we fell. So what's happening to Esau Edom is being split, and now he's getting ready to fall. Go ahead.
Verse 5. Horribly and speedily shall he come upon you, for a sharp judgment shall be to them that be in high places.
Yep, because the Lord judges from the top down. Okay, that's why Judah got messed up so bad. Okay, because the Lord deals with the head first. Okay, that's why when Isaiah the first chapter, if the whole head be sick, well, if I'm paraphrasing, pretty much the rest of the body's gonna be sick. Okay, so our head was sick. Going into Judah, ultimately going into Yahweh Shai, which is Adam. We all fell from Adam. But now in this time now, going into the top of Esau's rulership, he's not judging how he's supposed to be judged. Okay, so the Lord judges the people that has the authority to control the world. Okay, the Lee Bacon families, they best believe they had the power to fix world hunger and these other problems that are going on earth, but they don't want to. Okay, so him being in power, the Lord's going to do something because he's not a worthy ruler.
Verse 6. For mercy will soon pardon the meanest, but mighty men shall be mightily tormented.
Damn, mercy shall go ahead, read again.
Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 6, verse 6. For mercy will soon pardon the meanest, but mighty men shall be mightily tormented.
Yep, so the mighty going into Esau Edom, okay, and again his military. Because Esau is nothing without the sword. Okay, you look a regular so-called white man, obviously you do something to him, but when he starts doing like this, starts going like this, then you have issue because that's his blessing. All right, so he's the mighty, he's the one that's in power right now. All right, so it says, continue that.
Verse 7, for he which is Lord over all shall fear no man's persons.
Yep, so he don't care about you being a Rothschild, you got millions of billions of dollars. He don't care. He don't care about status. He don't care if you're Oprah Winfrey. He don't care who you are. He don't. The Lord's no respect for persons. I ain't judgment. Go ahead.
Verse, continue on. Neither shall he stand in awe of any man's greatness.
Yep, so like to just say a gift destroyed the heart. It's not nothing you can give the Lord that's going to make him change his mind. Right? Okay? Yeah, try to like people say in Job, you're going to try to please the poor. Right? The Lord's not doing that. Okay? Because in your time and you're pretty much, the Lord gave all the nations a chance to rule, and they failed. Okay? But ultimately, the Lord's a just judge, so he gave them a chance, but now, obviously, they're not worthy enough. And there was videos of that, was it one chick saying we need the Israelites to come back to,
She said her name, daughter of Jethro. Yeah, daughter of Jethro.
Yep, so these heathens inwardly know that they need, the rulership is not correct, right? So the Lord's going to raise up the true judges, which is Yahweh Shai now allowing you. Next, go ahead.
It says, for he made the small and great, and careth for all alike. But a sore trial shall come upon the mighty. Unto you, therefore, O kings, do I speak, that ye may learn wisdom and not fall away.
Yep. So the important part is the wisdom. Okay. You know, with the wisdom that we're going to be able to, which we're going into now, is that's how we're going to rule the world. Okay. And that's going to be in us inwardly, because we couldn't keep it. You know. So the time is coming where this wisdom is going to be in our inward parts. All right. So that's why these kingdoms fall, because they lack wisdom. Okay. They don't fear Yahweh Shai. The beginning of wisdom is fear. They don't have the fear. Right. So the sore trial, which is happening now, this man's on trial. Okay, Esau Edom was on trial. That's why he see the prophets, right? So the judgment is that his man's going to be destroyed, right?
Quick precept for you. Amos 3, it's like the brother going into, you know, all these nations can't judge the world righteously because they weren't given the laws. So this is Amos chapter 3 and verse 1.
Yeah, we're talking about all the law, statutes, and commandments, all 613 of them. That's true. You know, applying them, that's true wisdom and understanding, you know.
Yes,
And that's why we're going to be the correct rulers, you know, the perfect rulers. Because like the verse going into, it's going to be in us. You know, law, statutes, commandments, it's just going to be in us. It's going to be automatic. It's like, what they call it, like animals have a natural instinct, yeah. So it's just going to be natural to us, you know. You're not going to have to think about it. I don't know, man. Is that lawful? You know, that's not even going to be a thought, you know.
We're not going to be tempted no more. You know, we're not going to be like, I can't control myself. I want to commit adultery. I want to eat bacon. We're not going to have that in us no more. We're going to be changed.
Amos chapter 3,
and that's a cheat code. Because going into the wisdom, obviously the nations couldn't keep it. Okay, so only a certain people can keep it. That's a cheat code. Right?
Stability cheat code.
Exactly. That's what we're going to get.
Amos chapter 3, verse 1. Hear this word that the Lord Yahweh Shai have spoken against you, O children of Israel, against the whole family, which I brought up from the land of Egypt, saying, you only have I known of all the families of the earth. Therefore I will punish you for all your iniquities.
Yep, so going into Esau, you know, so for white man, it's expected that he can't keep the laws. It's expected he's supposed to be a devil, because he was never made or designed to be righteous. He was made to be wicked. So going into us, we're the ones really the ones being punished, because we went off and we're supposed to know better. So we got in trouble, and that's why we were here now in the fucked up state. You know, but the Lord only deals with us, and that's good and bad, right?
You know, since like the verse saying, because breaking the law, statutes, commandments brought us all the way to the bottom, keeping them 100% is going to have us all the way at the top. You know? That's that balance.
Yeah, exactly. I was going to say that's the good and bad, because we're held to a higher standard. So that means that, you know, we're held to a higher degree of responsibility on the planet Earth. So that's why the Lord judges so harsh, because again, you know, we're held to a higher standard than other nations. Right?
Wisdom of Solomon chapter 6, verse 9. Unto you, therefore, O kings, do I speak, that ye may learn wisdom and not fall away. For they that keep holiness holy shall be judged holy. And they that have learned such things shall find what to answer. Wherefore set your affection upon my words, desire them, and ye shall be instructed.
Yep, so you can stop there. So the instruction, you know, going into the obedience. The Lord gave us everything we had to do, we just had to follow them. Okay, and of course the Lord made it to where we could keep them. Because the Lord had to play out certain things, but you know, going into the instructions, that's why you see us here today. Because by our obedience, we're going to be those who are greater reward. Right? And the reward is we're going to sit on 12 thrones, those 12 tribes. Because somebody got to sit in rulership next. Because if this kingdom is falling, that's guaranteed. So who's going to be rulership next? There's a bunch of empty seats, 150,000. Okay, that's what we're holding. That's what we're
I got something for you real quick. You got something else? Okay, all right, I got something real quick. Baruch chapter 4, verse 24. Like as now the neighbors of Zion have seen your captivity, so shall they. You brothers there? I went to you brothers here. Baruch chapter 4, verse 24. Like as now the neighbors of Zion have seen your captivity.
That's where that shame came, because you know, is this the city of paraphrasing the standard of beauty, the city of perfection, paraphrasing? And when we went down, everybody knew. It's just like when a scandal comes out about celebrity, you heard about it. That's what happened to us. So that's what made us going into our shame. And the other nations, they saw what happened to us. They saw us getting carried on cargo slave ships. They saw Esau grabbing us up, the damn Hamites helping, and us going on slave ships. okay, Christopher Columbus coming over here, so they're going to get the Jews, all right? These nations knew that, all right? They didn't do nothing about it. That's why they're in trouble too, right? All right?
It says, so shall they see shortly your salvation from our power, which shall come upon you with great glory.
Yep, so all eyes are going to see our salvation.
Sure.
Okay? Best believe, the talk of the town is going to be the Israelites, okay? Because that's going into our favor, okay? You saw those men get beaten up in UFOs, those that same men out, yeah, there you go, Wisdom Talmud 5th chapter, okay? The strangers of our salvation. That's going to get you fame alone. It's like you beat up the biggest bully, okay, in school. Everybody talking about you, okay? So getting beat up on the chair, best believe everybody going to be talking about you. Okay, that was my nephew, that was my cousin, that was my son, okay? They're going to be getting hit by nuclear missiles. All right.
A brightness of the everlasting. My children, suffering patiently the wrath that has come upon you from the Most High, for thine enemy have persecuted thee. But shortly thou shalt see his destruction, and shalt tread upon his neck.
Yep. So that goes into the patience of the saints. That's what we're waiting. We're waiting for something. Okay? We're waiting for our Lord to do something about this. Okay, and ultimately, going to our affliction of Zion being ended. Is our time up? Is our punishment up? You looking out the corner? Can I get out yet? Okay, that's what we're doing. Okay, we're waiting to be redeemed. Okay, for the Lord to come back and do something about this man Esau. You said that's
real quick. Going back into pretty much we coming back into power. Who the world was for. This is 2nd Ezra 6. 2nd Ezra chapter 6, verse 54. It says, and after these, Adam also, whom thou madest Lord over all thy creatures, of him come we all, and the people also whom thou hast chosen. All this I have spoken before thee, this is the point, O Lord, because thou madest the world for our sakes.
Yep, so that's what exactly, because that's what the world was made for, going to Adam. He was the one that named all the creation. He was going out naming fishes, birds, okay, because it belonged unto him. It's like you name your son, right? The Lord gave the authority to Adam, and Adam was the people, so there was going into his sons, okay, the line, the sons of God. So going into those giants, okay, those giants
specifically Yahushua, the one that named everything.
Yeah, because going into reincarnation, Adam is Yahushua, but going into his sons, the sons of God, those are those giants. Okay, so they were what? I think it's in Brew, going into so expert in war, famous from the beginning. Okay, that's what we're going into. We're going to the beginning. Okay, going into getting our great stature back. Okay, and that's all that's coming.
All right, brother, still got some more.
Oh yes.
It says, as for the people, it's like I read 55 again. It says, all these have I spoken before thee, O Lord, because thou madest the world for our sakes. Now I ended up.
Just going into Adam, going to this John 1 and 3. John 1 and 3 says, all things were made by him, and without him was not anything made that was made.
Yep, so that's why he named it. It was his. So being really specific, that's Yahushua.
Like the saying goes, made by him, for him, what Fubu for us by him.
Got one quick one to go back up real quick, Bible shop. This is St. Luke 3, verse 38. St. Luke 3, verse 38. Which was the son of Enos, which was the son of Seth, which was the son of Adam, which was the son of God.
So that's the ranking order. Okay, because no one is at that time going into Adam, no one's above Adam, but Adam is the same person going to Yahushua. Okay, after Yahushua is Heavenly Father, after that is no highness. Okay, so the ranking order goes into Yahushua being the man that the Lord set up to run this place.
And that's in the flesh. Adam is the first one in the flesh, the person. But going even deeper, he was the first spirit created. Yahushua, the actual first spirit, the Most High created first.
So that's an inheritance. The firstborn gets the inheritance. So the Lord did it on purpose. He set up his son on purpose.
And that's why he said, a voice came down from heaven and said, this is my son, whom I am well pleased. And so the Lord's pleased to give his first son, all the inheritance. And then, of course, the ones that were made, help him make the earth, which
which are the elect. You know, that's why they're joint heirs with him. You know, but the verse, like Apostle, I think it was Apostle Tamar was going into it recently. You know, when like let's say you have 8 kids in the ancient world. Of course, all the main inheritance goes to the first son, but the other kids, they still get a portion of the wealth, you know? It ain't like they just gonna have to go fend for themselves, you know? They still get portions, you know? But the first son, he gets the main portion.
This is 1 Corinthians 15 and verse 22. For as in Adam all died, even so in Mashiach shall all be made alive.
Yep, so,
No.
I was going to say, you know, because it's important to understand reincarnation. Okay, that's a big part of the story because it only makes sense that Adam was the one that, it was really the woman, okay? But, you know, it was Adam's fault because the man gets the
final say.
Yeah,
He went down that road.
So he gets the blame, all right? So Adam, being Yahushua, he came back and pretty much right all his wrongs. Because it says through Adam, after Adam, we all fell. Okay, so it only makes sense that Yahushua is the one that was fix everything he did wrong.
Right? Got to back you up. Jump down to verse 45. And so it is written, the first man, Adam, was made a living soul. And the last Adam was made a quickening spirit.
Yep, so again, it's talking about the same man here. You know, and going into, again, these reincarnations. Okay, so through Adam, we all die, and that's the balance. The Lord has a balance. Okay, through Adam, we all die. That's how you see all people getting blown up, legs flying every fucking where. Okay, because Adam sinned, going into our nation, fuck the nations, going into what happened to us. Okay, so now through Yahushua, we're all going to live. We'll never have to die again.
Hey, that's like the brother read earlier, we all come from Adam. But when Adam came back, he only came for Israel, you know, the chosen line, you know. Because the Yahushua's line, he can literally trace it all the way back to Adam. And that's Matthew 1. Nobody can trace their lineage all the way back to, like, every single father's father, all the way back to Adam. Only one man can say that, you know. That's Yahushua.
But as for the other people that also came to Adam,
exactly. You know, they got
now it goes.
Because really, you know, like it does say, because technically everybody, all the nations are from Adam because everybody else got wiped out from the face of the earth in the time of Noah. Noah's line goes right back to Adam, you know, that's one of Yahushua's forefathers. But what, there was a split after that, and then it kept being a split until Israel came on the scene, you know, until Jacob came on the scene.
2 Peter chapter 3, verse 10. 2 Peter chapter 3 and 10 says, but the day of the Lord will come as a thief in the night, in the which the heavens shall pass away with a great noise, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat.
Yep, and that's, guess what, thermonuclear missiles. Okay, so going to the day of the Lord coming as a thief in the night, no one's expecting the right hand of the Lord. Okay, because all you see is the left hand of the Lord. You see Esau doing his thing, okay, putting terror on people. Now he's getting ready to put out the chip, okay, threatening people, puffing at people. Okay, getting ready to come up and try to come up against us. Okay, going into that flood, right? But we're the only ones looking up going into that conference call yesterday with the brother Kwame and Kaya and Dawuda. You know, we're the elect are the only people looking up because we have hope. Okay, we're the only people on this earth that have hope. Okay, and if people have hope now, they're getting ready to lose it. Okay, their hope, the eye's gonna fail. You know, everything they had, their hope in the 401ks and all these things they had planned, are gonna come to naught. Okay, but the counsel of the Lord is gonna stand. Okay, so we're the only ones that have this hope. That's why going into Thessalonians, there's no need that right onto you. Okay, because we know the Lord is coming as a thief in the night. So we're watching. Okay, it only comes in as a thief if you're not watching. Okay,
It says, the earth also and the works that are done therein, shall be burnt up.
So all the works, you know, going into Ecclesiastes, talk about all this vanity. This kingdom is pure vanity. Okay, everything you see, cars, the Lambo roll back, it's just clean. You know, but that's going to be destroyed. Okay, and all is going to return back to the earth. Again, it's going to be used for righteous cause, going into the building of our kingdom. Right.
Right. Seeing then, this is verse 11, seeing then that all these things shall be dissolved, what manner of persons ought ye to be? In all holy conversation and godliness, looking for and hastening unto the coming of the day of the Lord, wherein the heavens being on fire shall be dissolved, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat.
Yep, so knowing that this place is getting ready to end, what should you be doing? You should be on your best behavior. Okay? strive for righteousness, okay? Because the Lord's coming to judge, okay? And we see people on scooters, and it's gonna be, even for us, when we start seeing this stuff happen on the sudden fear, you hear booms, you hear shit slamming, you start a little bit, So when Esau starts coming down and starts blowing down the people, we can't say we've seen shit like that, okay? So we're gonna have a stable mind. Okay, so that's why going to what man or man ought you to be, you should be meditating on the words of the Lord, because that's the only comfort you're gonna find. Okay, ain't gonna be no donuts, okay? There's gonna be none of that to comfort you in these days, because there's gonna be famines, okay? It's gonna be all type of hell coming. Okay, the only people that are gonna be protected is the people that have the name of the Lord in their forehead, going to the book of Revelations.
If I can say real quick, I was speaking on this a little earlier, but what is going into what matter of conversation should you be in? This also goes into the book of Micah, arise ye and depart, not your rest. Going into your mental and your spiritual, because like I did a video on this earlier in the week, speaking about all these different things. Where are you going to go back to this here world, man? All the things that's in this here world is tainted, and so all go away. So you investing into these things, I want to get this new car, this here woman or whatever, whatnot, this here job, but it's all going to be, it's going to all vanish away real soon anyway, man. Right, so you might as well go ahead and accomplish this part. I finally got this new job, finally got this record deal or whatever, whatnot. We don't know what time frame, but you get this record deal, 6 months later, boom, it's all gone, man. Think about those artists who just got signed right before the COVID situations happened. Now they can't go and market their album, can't go on tour. And you have to think, like, damn, man, I just pretty much sold out for nothing. And we have to end up it all anyway, man.
Yeah, I'm going to read on. Verse 13. Nevertheless, we, according to his promise.
Nevertheless, we, according to his promise. Okay, so it's a group. Okay, it didn't say all. It's talking about us. Okay, those group.
According to his promise, look for new heavens and a new earth.
Yep, and it starts with first this place being cleansed, land being cleansed, but also the rulership.
Yeah.
Okay, because there's going to be another power structure set up. Okay, we've been going through this through the Spirit from the beginning, going to the Lord setting up a power structure in the world to come, going into the kingdom of heaven. All right.
Right. Wherein dwelleth righteousness.
Yep, wherein dwelleth righteousness. Okay, and you're righteous by the words of the Lord. Okay, in your faith. Okay, Go ahead.
Verse 14. Wherefore, beloved, seeing that ye look for such things, be diligent, that ye may be found of him in peace, without spot and blameless.
Yep. And that's going into making your body a living sacrifice. Okay, so the Lord's not accepting burnt offerings, these other things that, these churches promote, and even, these other Israelite camps, okay? Going out and making your body a living sacrifices, going out and showing and proving your faith, proving your sincerity, okay, enduring afflictions. Because, going into, what Yahushua went through, it says, worthy is a land that was slain to receive power. We're being slain daily, getting cut, and catching hell, because we're walking after the footsteps of our perfect example, being Yahushua. Okay, and he caught hell for the majority of the whole nation, exactly. All right, he went up for his sins first and the people's. So we're doing that spiritually. We're being afflicted not for ourselves only, but for our entire nation. Okay,
starting with the elect, we do all things for the elect. We endure all things for the elect's sake. This is a painful, lot. But at the end of the day, this is something that needs to be done. You gotta, that's why I say you gotta give diligence. The Lord's gonna be on your side, but you gotta do your part. Like brother said last week or the week before, it's a quid pro quo. Don't just expect something. Don't expect salvation or any of these good things that you hear us talking about all the time if you're not doing nothing for the Lord.
Yep.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, real quick.
Yes.
Romans 13 and 11, right to the point. Romans 13 and 11, and that knowing the time, that now it is high time to awake out of sleep, for now is our salvation nearer than we believe. So going into that sleep, waking up, because the scriptures speak about this is not our rest. You know what I mean? So that's why you got to be soberly minded, man, in this thing of ours, not constantly caught up in the philosophies, but watching and being circumspect. Because this is a time when Yahweh is getting ready to return, man, to save his elect, man. You know what I mean? This is a time where, the elect are most fervent than they have ever been, man. You know what I mean? Because we can see the day approaching. You know what I mean? So, hey, man, our salvation is nearer than we believe, man. That's all. That's the only thing on your mind is salvation, man. You know what I mean?
Just like when your mama coming back home, your daddy on your way back on his back home, you straighten up, you take out the chicken. Okay, that's what we're doing spiritually.
Yes, sir.
Jeremiah 10 and 19. I read today.
be real sorry. How do y'all do this?
Usually here every Saturday, around 4 o'clock, for a few hours.
4 o'clock in the evening?
Yep. Here to like, 7-ish.
Y'all mind if I like catch y'all at 4 o'clock next time?
Yeah, you come. We here. We here for you, man.
Thanks, man. I mean, I need to hear this. I really do.
Yeah, Lord willing, next week we see.
God told me something about it, man. I'm sorry I can't stay.
You can stay. If you can't stay enough, say you stay now. But if you can't,
Can't stay right now.
I'll be easy now. Good, bro.
Jeremiah chapter 10, verse 19. Woe is me for my hurt. My wound is grievous. But I said, truly, this is a grief.
Hey, see, and this is what we come out here to do, man.
Sir.
That man started walking away crying, man. This word is reaching out to our people, man. This is how we know we close to the end, man.
Sir.
You got our people waking up all over the earth, man. This is the reason why the Lord is sending us out here to do this job, man. We have a very big, great task and that we are doing right here. This is a beautiful thing, man. And you see people like that, man, and man, for that man to get in tears, he said, I need to come out here. He was like, I need to hear this. That's a beautiful thing, man.
I got a precept for it. But this is Luke 4:17. Luke chapter 4, verse 17. It says, and there was delivered unto him, and that him is talking about Yahweh Shai, all right, the book of the prophet Isaiah. And when he had opened the book, he found the place where it was written. Okay? And it says, and that's from Isaiah, the 61st chapter. All right, so Yahweh Shai is reading Isaiah 61. It says, the Spirit of the Lord is upon me, because he hath anointed me to preach the gospel to the poor. And this is, we all in the body of Yahweh Shai, so this is talking about each one of us individually. So apply this to yourself, It says, the Spirit of the Lord is upon me, because he hath anointed me to preach the gospel to the poor. He has sent me to heal the brokenhearted. And like your brother was going into, that dude was brokenhearted, man.
Hey, that man might have just been converted, man. The Spirit, he might have just became a believer, man, by hearing y'all words, man. This is a big thing that we're doing out here, man. This ain't nothing likely, man. Don't come out here to waste your time or nobody else's. Because if you out here to bullshit around, because you think this is just something to do, hey, man, you better get it moving, man. Because the Most High will destroy you with a grievous death. This is something to bring and heal our people. Because the whole head is sick, man. We're out here looking for those that are going to be healed, man.
Yeah, that guy may be somebody really important to y'all, Bashim Yahushua.
Might be a part of the election, the 1/3. That man in that day, man, he might believe. I don't know, but I believe that he might be converted, man.
Hey, real quick, if I can quote, that the same thing happened in the scriptures when Yahushua was on the cross, man. All right, because he had the dude that was beside him. He basically addressed him as Lord. He knew at that point in time, but all the way up to the time he was about to die, he was going off. But guess what? That one little bit of point in time, Yahushua said, hey, on this day you're going to see me in paradise, basically, roughly paraphrasing more or less. So just like, hey, same situation could have happened the same way, man. But hey, he had that conviction in his heart, That's how, hey, that's the Lord also said, I come not to heal the whole, but the sick, man.
Back in Luke 4:18, it says, the Spirit of the Lord is upon me, because he hath anointed me to preach the gospel to the poor. He hath sent me to heal the brokenhearted, to preach deliverance to the captives, and recovering of sight to the blind.
Yeah, man.
And set at liberty them that are abused.
Yeah, because that's spiritual. The blind meaning, we don't know the truth.
Yeah.
So set free, being the truth, we've been set free by the truth. So by the man hearing the words, we have nothing to offer besides the words. We're not selling tickets. Okay? We're speaking the words of Yahweh Shai, and by that he was moved with compassion and probably ultimately convicted. Now he's going to hopefully start believing.
I know that, and I know we brothers see that all the time. We see that on camps, watching brothers camp videos, you'll hear, a woman or a man that started crying at the camp, man. But that's something special when that happens, man. That means that person's got cut. They were cut in their spirit, man. That means they heard that word. remember the sheep, my sheep hear my voice, man. You know?
Jeremiah chapter 10, verse 19. Woe is me, for my hurt, my wound is grievous. But I said, truly, this is a grief, and I must bear it.
Yep. So going into the burden of this truth, it comes with a lot of trouble. But ultimately going into the scriptures, how I say, endure all things for the elect's sake. Through all the affliction we caught this week, it's for that man to hear this word. So it's really important, going into carrying our cross, because we're not just carrying the cross for ourselves, but our entire nation. We have a people that's probably get it right now. Going into our people have no shepherds. They need wholesome words right now, especially now more than ever. Okay, no more say you heard that you watch it, they don't work no more. Okay, you see the game, you heard that they don't work no more. The words of the Lord, Yahweh Shai, the only words that's going to hear you this time. Give that real quick over, Shai.
This is in the book of Matthew, chapter 9, start at verse 35. It says, Matthew 9:35. And Yahushua went about all the cities and villages, teaching in the synagogues and preaching the gospel of the kingdom, and healing every sickness and every disease among the people.
Yep, so that's a part of our calling, okay? So this is a selfless act, of course, though. Again, making the point that you got to take care of your own self, your own house first, and then you got to what? Because we're here for each other, okay? Not for yourself, but as well as others, okay? People you don't even know, going to strangers, okay? We're here to heal the sick, okay? And it's the words of the Lord that's doing it, okay?
Verse 36. But when he saw the multitudes, he was moved with compassion on them.
Yep, because you see brothers up here, you think, well, rough we are. I'm rough on the edges, but we're very compassionate men. We love our people. We love our people more than you do. Okay, going into people in the world. Okay, that's why the Heavenly Father said to Ezra, okay, it's an order of things. Now we care about our people more than you do, because you did, you'd be out here. Okay, we love our people. Go ahead.
You got to preach it. It says, because they fainted and were scattered abroad as sheep having no shepherd.
Yep, so our people had no shepherd. Okay, we had no guidance. We had going to the leaders of our people called us to err. We had people set up that would lead us in the wrong way. Okay, so Yahushua being a good shepherd gathered us by his word. Okay, we're doing the same thing and following after his footsteps.
That's why Israel's considered the lost sheep of the house of Israel. Because the sheep without a shepherd, they're lost. You don't know where to go, what to do.
So I'll let another brother keep up. Go ahead and experience them. I'll show him.
Let this brother bring out that precept real quick. Go ahead.
1 Timothy chapter 4, verse 16. Take heed unto thyself and unto the doctrine. Continue in them, for in doing this thou shalt both save thyself and them that hear thee.
So that's why it's important, man, to continue to do this work, man. Not be slothful in business, man, because you're saving yourself and those that may hear you, man. That's a beautiful thing to see that, man. Lord's will, he be out here next week. But you brothers got it.
Quick one, just on this topic before the brother take off. 2 Corinthians 12, I'm going to start at 14. 2 Corinthians 12, verse 14. Behold, the third time I am ready to come to you, and I will not be burdensome to you, for I seek not yours, but you. So, Paul's saying, I don't seek your substance, man. That's why the scriptures say, freely have, you heard freely give, roughly paraphrasing.
Yeah. Freely have you received, freely give.
Yeah, freely have you received, freely give. That's the right term. So, and you know the history of Paul. We always go into this. Paul had to curse Corinthians out. He told them pretty much, I don't need your money, but he's still gonna teach them anyway. So this is the love, as the brother said. We rough around the edges, man. We have our own flaws. We ain't perfect. We go off, not willingly, but we always strive to do the right thing. We got demons or whatever, but we fighting just how you fight. Like they said, when you come visit apostles, like, oh, they regular men. We regular men fighting this flesh and dealing with demons just how you are. But the point is, we actually have a love for our people, man. And the scriptures even they say not willing that any should perish. So even the Most High said not willing that any should perish, that all come back to repentance. So the Most High even said himself through the Spirit, of course, through the apostle. But he said not willing that any should perish, but all come back. But all our people aren't going are going to come back. So it says,
Hey, real quick, this is the greatest love you can do, you know, teaching the word, you know, giving the word out, like Brother said, freely giving it. And, you know, the scriptures say, like Brother said, we're not perfect, you know, but the scriptures say charity cover a multitude of sins. This is the greatest charity, you know.
because why? You're making your body a living sacrifice. And that's a greater love have no man than a man that lays his life down his friend. You know, so this is the greatest love that you can do by coming out here. All right. So it says, Paul again. It says, "For I seek not yours, but you." So he said, "I don't seek yours." You know, that's more Jake terminology. You know what I'm saying? I got mine. You know how Jake be like, "I got mine." You know, that's how you know Paul's a Jake. You know, these ain't no Edomites in this book. You know, it says, "For I seek not yours, but you."
And real quick, the opposite of that is in these churches, man. They pass around those collection plates and everything like that. What do they want? They want your money. They don't want you. You come to them with their problems. Look, my son about to die. We about to get evicted. They repossessed the car. We need help, Pastor. Well, shit, go pray to Jesus. But I'm going to pass this collection plate around. We don't care about you and your problems. We don't want to hear about none of that shit, man. We just want that money, man. But versus over here, we ain't got no collection plates out here, man. You know what I'm saying? This here word is going to be the thing that winds up healing you, man. All right?
It says, "For I seek not yours, but you. For the children are not to lay up for the parents, but the parents for the children." And Paul even said in his Gospels that your spiritual fathers, for I have begotten you. You know, so he woke you up. You was born again. All right. The word, he used the word to wake you up. So what? That's your spiritual fathers. That's why the elders are our spiritual fathers, because they woke us up. All right. They have begotten us. You know. So it says, "And I will this is the point, and I will very gladly spend and be spent for you. Though the more abundantly I love you, the less I be loved." So the more he go and reprove, because you remember Corinthians, it's a lot of edification in Corinthians, because he had to rebuke them more and more. But he said, the more I love you, the less I be loved. So the more I come to you, and that's how we are, man. The more we come out here to cry out to our people, and you know, even your family members, you always constantly trying to get on them and tell them whatever the case may be, the more they revolt from you. And that goes back to what Isaiah, he said, "Why shall you be stricken anymore? You will do nothing but revolt." So the more the Most High punished us and whooped our ass, the more we went off. And then that goes back to the law, because the scriptures tell you a dude like that, you're supposed to put him to death. He won't listen to nobody. Nobody, you're supposed to kill him. So that's pretty much how the Lord is going to act upon 2/3 of our people. You can't tell them nothing. They want to be rebellious. They won't do anything. You just got to take them out. You know?
Like the law says, like the law the brother talking about says, you know, the parents tell him, and then if he don't want to listen, then they take him out, and everybody stones him because he's being rebellious. And once the rebellion is as the sin of witchcraft. If you're a witch, you know, the scriptures say, "I suffer not a witch to live." So that's why they gotta die. Hey,
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, I got you.
But in, let me get start with that first.
It's the book of Psalms, chapter 83, starting at verse 1.
All right, because what we're going to, transition into, because the situation just happened or whatnot, Hey, man, our people are in a dead state, man. All right, real quick before you do that, can you grab me Romans chapter 8 and, verse 12, I think it is. Real quick, the whole creation growing together. Okay. It's 8 and, no, it's like that. It's right here. Should be down here.
Yeah. Vanity not willingly.
No, the whole creation growing together.
Oh, I got you right
there.
there. 22.
Huh.
It's Romans 8 and 22. Romans 8, verse 22. And it reads, "For we know that the whole creation groaneth and travaileth in pain together until now."
Keep reading a little bit.
Verse 23. "And not only they, but ourselves also, which are the first fruits of the Spirit, even we ourselves groan within ourselves, waiting for the adoption, to wit, the redemption of our body."
So it broke down who the they were that were groaning. All right, not only they, but us as well, who have the first fruit. So what? Going into the 2/3 and the 1/3, man. The whole creation, we all groaning, man. Hey, not only are we in these here bodies sighing and crying for all the abominations that be done in the midst thereof, because we see all this here wickedness and everything going on. But what we're addressing it this way, all right, going to the scriptures. But then you have the 2/3 of our people, man. They run around doing drugs, alcohol, self-mutilation and tattoos and things like that for certain reasons to cover up their so-called losses in life, man. They're groaning. They're getting tired of being out of this situation, man. You know, so what? Our people are in a dead state, which, Lord willing, if we have time, we'll get into that. Ezekiel 37, the valley of the dry bones, man. But hey, man, this is where we all have come to, man. We don't know who we are. We don't know our power. You know, that's in Isaiah 1, I think, Oxen Ash, Isaiah 2. Yeah, grab that real quick. I think it's Isaiah.
Let me put this one down.
But yeah, our people are so far gone that we don't know what from what, man. It's just like being lost. You don't have your identity or anything like that, man. All right, if a person don't know themselves, man, they don't know how they're going to react to certain things. And certain, you know, a person that's, how I say, well-rooted is somebody that know themselves to the T, man. I know how I'm going to react to this. I know how I'm going to react to that. This is cool, that's cool. But somebody that's unstable, hey, man, they're like they're a blind man walking in the darkness. You got that?
It's Isaiah 1 and 3. Isaiah 1 verse 3. The ox knoweth his owner, and the ass his master's crib. But Israel doth not know, my people doth not consider.
Come on, so hey, look, you got a lot of our people, man. All right, going back to the whole creation growing together, the 2/3 of our people, man, they live however they want to live. But then when shit start hitting the fan, they want to start calling out to Jesus, praying, oh God, why this and why that? But look, they don't consider, man. They don't even think about the actions that they're doing or why they're in this here state, man. You got 2/3 of our people right now talking about voting for Joe Biden or voting for Donald Trump, man. But they don't consider that they both Edomites, man. They haven't considered since they stepped off them ships to come over here. The so-called white man has been nothing but a devil to our people, man. But they have this so-called hope because they don't know themselves, man. They don't know that they have their own power that's not a so-called white man. So what? They only know to bow down to what they've been taught, man. This here white man, all right? But because why? Our people don't know who they are. They don't know they have a different power that's not the person that put them in captivity, you know? That was it on that?
Can I get that verse real quick? Because I quoted it earlier. Psalms, it's like Isaiah 1 and 5, same chapter, just verse down. It says, why should ye be stricken anymore? Ye revolt more and more.
Hey, that's also like having you a little child, man. You know, when Jake talk about disciplining their children, we call it beating our children. But the Esau here, they think that's abuse. But there's a difference between, when Jake is disciplining their children, we call it, quote unquote, beating our children. But there's a point to where you get to where you actually fucking your child up. You close fist, beating them in the face. And, like, bro, you're not going to get none at that point in time. This is beyond the discipline stage. You know what I'm saying? There's a certain line where you discipline them for a certain reason, man. All right, now we're at the state now where our people not going to learn, man. The more the Esau's out here gunning our people down, what do our people want to do? Go out there with the, what is it, INFAC or whatever? Jam Master Jam. Yeah, we got to go get some guns out here, bro. We got to go out here and go to war with the white man. See, that's how destroyed they are. They don't realize that he done took down the whole nation, put the whole world in subjugation, and now our people think that they're going to sit here and rise up with their AKs and they damn 357s and shit on Esau, man. You know what I'm saying? But hey, they don't consider, man. All right? How much more is Esau got to keep putting his foot on your neck for you to have to stop trying to depend on Egypt in these certain type of ways to get out of Egypt or call to your own power, man? How long the men of the Lord gonna have to be on the highways and the byways calling out to you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans telling you to come back into your power, man? All right, before this year, well, not this year, but before last couple years, before Jake been getting gunned down even more and more, we've been telling you about these things, man. But now it's on the forefront of the TV. You got all these people marching or whatever. Last week we had JJ's situation going on, man. Hey, man, like the brothers read, how much longer you gonna be stricken, man? How many more of these goddamn parades and rest in peace t-shirts y'all niggas need, man? All right, why don't y'all want to worry about your dead homies? What about your Howard who died for you, man? What JJ died for, or any of these other people died for, man? He probably robbed the dope boy or some shit like that or whatever, whatnot, These are the things that's going on in our communities, man. The whole head is sick, man. All right, when are you gonna start? When are you gonna start to try to get that evil out of your eye more to stay instead of just we're gonna just ignore from now. We're gonna just ignore this and ignore that, man. All right, when are our people gonna start coming back to the law, statutes, commandments, man? All right, that was it on that.
Finish it off. It says, why should you be stricken anymore? You revolt more and more. The whole head is sick and the whole heart faint.
Hey, hey, like I said, man, like the scripture say, the whole head is sick, man. All right, so you have to address it at the problem, man. All right, we were speaking on the side about these things, man. You want all these things in this your life, new house, new car, a woman or whatever, whatnot. But you have to understand, address the initial problem, man. You have a goddamn a curse over top of you, man. You got these Edomites ruling over top of you, man. So everything is all defiled, everything is tainted, everything is upside down, man. All right, it's just like you got you owe the IRS $1 billion in taxes or whatever, whatnot. It don't matter how much money you're getting paid on your job or salary, it's all getting garnished, man. All right, before you can worry about getting a job and getting a payment and getting your paycheck, worry about settling that disagreement with the IRS first, because every dime you make is going right back to them. And you complaining about, I ain't never got no money. I just gotta go get me a third and a fourth and a fifth job, bro. It's not gonna work out. That's what our people are doing. Yeah, you gotta go to the source of the problem, man. All right.
It's the book of Jeremiah, chapter 17, verse 4. Jeremiah 17, verse 4.
Spirit.
And thou, even thyself, shalt discontinue from thine heritage that I gave thee, and I will cause thee to serve thine enemies, and the land which thou knowest not. For ye have kindled a fire in mine anger, which shall burn forever.
Con, hey, that's the spirit I had in back. But hey, start reading it again.
All right. This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 17, verse 4.
And this is part of the curses that befell our people, man. All right.
And thou, even thyself, shalt discontinue from thine heritage.
Hey, when you think about this, man, every other nation on the planet Earth, they can go back into their so-called history about certain things, man. You know about like the original Egyptians. They got the hieroglyphics up in the pyramids. The Chinese, the Great Wall of China, so on and so forth. The Japanese people, so on and so forth. You know, they're not necessarily going back to their biblical identity. Some of them are. They got the Moabite stone. You know, they have all these different things about themselves. But when it comes to you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, what? You don't have a history before slavery, man. You think that you just was spawned on the planet Earth and got right onto a slave ship and came over here, man. The so-called white man told you, oh, you was just some niggas swinging from trees out there in Africa, man.
He civilized you.
Yeah, he didn't want to civilize you, but lo and behold, do you know you wound up civilizing his ass, man. Taught him how to speak proper and everything like that, how to bathe, gave him hygiene and shit like that, how to cook his food all the way through, man. Taught him all these different things because this nigga was, he was a vagabond, man. He was the lowest of the lowest thing. We had to take his ass and, like, think about that, man. We took them in captivity and showed these Edomites how to bathe, man. All right, how to change their clothes every once in a while, man. But they said they civilized us. All right, you go into that book, Nature Has No Color Lines, I believe is the name of it. Nature Has No Color Lines.
Arthur Koestler?
No, not that one, not that one. But that would go into it too. Yeah, that's going into Esau and who Esau is and everything like that. The 13th tribe and everything. That's the book you talking about.
Yeah, right.
But Nature Has No Color Lines. All right, you open up that book, you start looking at German history, European history, Asian history, all those places in Europe. You see all these statues of so-called black people, man. We was over there ruling over there in Europe and everything like that, and those the parliament buildings and all those things. But hey, Jake was the one that's building up all these things over here, man. So for a so-called white person to come tell us, oh, you don't got no history, look at all the so-called things the white man made. Wait a minute, you stole all this from us, man. All right, on the shortest level of things, what Bible you got right there, Ash?
King James.
1611 Bible, right? So in 1611, we know about King James, who wound up translating this in scripture, man. All right, who was a so-called black man. All right, the so-called Negroes came over here on slave ships in 1619, man. So where were we at before that, man? The Moors in Spain and everything like that. Now, I'll actually tell you the first slave ships came from Spain, man. Spain and Portugal, man, before they started coming from Europe and everything. But where was our people at in those points of times, man? Who was over there ruling, man? But what? Because we discontinued from our heritage, we don't know these things. All right, we just look at each other as niggas, as spics, and things like that, man. But if we used to know that we was kings and ruling over nations and building up these empires like those Arabs, right? You see those Islamic temples and all those big-ass things that they got. The mosque, we built all of those things, man. All right, we built all these things back. Oh, look at the how they say the architecture and so on and so forth, and look how smart these people. We built that shit, man. The pyramids, we built that. It's in the scriptures, man.
And Esau, he'll let our people think they're Egyptian. He said, yeah, go ahead and think you're Egyptians, because they going to show you the Egyptians ain't shit. Yeah. You know, if the Egyptians were so great, you would have Esau, you know, over there to this day still claiming to be the Egyptians, you know. Now you got this other shit, but you know, they let Jake think that, but what when you come to the truth and you find out you're Israelite, that's the only thing you can't be.
Right. Hey, but just touching on Egypt, every civilization it's been a repeat of civilization, man. Egypt wasn't great until Jake got up in there, man. We got the records, man. All right, Moses was held up as what the Pharaoh's grandson, or more or less. I had high ranking up in there.
Joseph.
You had Joseph, who was like second in control over all of Egypt. He was the one telling them, hey, look, it's about to be a famine that's going to come. And at least I not tell you these things, y'all ass would be in the grass like the rest of these nations, right? So who made that great for them? Then the 70 souls was brought into Egypt, and from there they was multiplying. They built up Egypt to be this big granular place that it became at that point in time, right? Then they left. You don't really hear too much history that was coming out of Egypt like that no more, man. All right, you go into Babylon and what? You had what was it? Not Nebuchadnezzar. Nebuchadnezzar, I believe it was,
Yeah,
wasn't
his
it?
father, yeah.
Who brought in Daniel and all them, and these other great men and everything like that, brought all these different people in, and what? He used them, I believe it was Nebuchadnezzar who wound up with the dream situation. All right, he had all his wise men. Look, bro, if y'all can't tell me what's going on, all y'all getting put to
You
death.
gotta tell me my dream and the interpretation,
and the interpretation of it. All right, but none of his top people from that nation was able to do this here feat. So who did they? And these was like the top so-called wise men, right? The Chaldees, right? But then what? They wanted to go get you Israelites, man. All right, Daniel wanted to tell them the interpretation of the dream, man.
Yeah, because Daniel heard that he was gonna kill all the wise men, so he said, "Hold on, Malcolm, hold on."
Hey, but what? He wound up, and instead of doing it in his own power, he did what? He went and called it to his power, man, Yahweh. All right, and he told him the dream and the interpretation thereof, man. And what did Nebuchadnezzar say? Truly, there is no God but the God of Daniel, man. Talking about our power, man.
Yep.
All right, you can go back to all these different accounts and everything like that. All these civilizations was made great because we was there, man. All right, look at modern day America, man. You got the so-called White House, which was built by slaves, which you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, you Israelites. All right, all these high-rise buildings, still to this day, man. You got Jake out here building up these buildings, man. All right, when we was down there at Candleside, you would see, Jake walking, Issachar walking by, building these skyscrapers and everything like that. Because look, when they put these buildings in the little what do you call it, realtor apps and things like that. Oh, it's a beautiful high-rise downtown, beautiful view, beautiful this, beautiful. Who built all these things, man? Jake is the one that's building these places, man. Jake is the one coming out with this technology and all these different things to how do I say, to promote this here place.
Yes, sir.
No, we still reading it. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. I don't want to take it from the subject.
Well, we're gonna get into that anyway.
I got something.
Go ahead.
I got Hosea 4:6.
We gonna,
Go ahead with that.
All right, this is Hosea chapter 4, verse 6. Hosea 4:6. My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. Because thou hast rejected knowledge, I will also reject thee, that thou shalt be no priest to me, seeing thou hast forgotten the law of thy power, I will also forget thy children.
Hey, and that's you can go into First Maccabees about that. They wound up Antiochus wound up setting our people up to go off to keep the children's souls basically and constantly going into sins and things like that, right? So we could be separated from our power. The scriptures say, my ear is not heavy that I can't hear, my arm isn't short that I can't save, but your sins have separated you from your power, man. All right? So this is why we're in this condition. Go ahead. Back on that again. Read that again. Oh, no. Right. Yeah,
okay. It's the book of Jeremiah 17, verse 4. And thou, even thyself, shalt discontinue from thine heritage that I gave thee.
God, so we had customs and certain things like that. Some of our people that'll sit here and look at these Israelis over there or whatever, would not talk about how they all dressed up or supposed to be dressed up, or how they look at these Arabs, they supposed to be having their hair covered and everything like that. How they have what is it? I can't think of the name of the holiday them Arabs have, but there's certain holidays and things like that. And our people will sit there and look at those things. Oh man, I wish I could be like them. Well, we had our own customs, man. We had our own high holy days. We had our own attires that we would wear. Our own dietary laws and things. All these different things, right? We had all these different things, but what? The scripture said that we was going to discontinue from our heritage, all right? We're going to also get into how Esau wanted taking us into captivity and everything like that. And then what? Wound up destroying all of our customs, man, all right?
And that, our heritage is what? The scriptures. That's why our people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. The knowledge of the scriptures. Not the knowledge of how to build a bicycle. It's about the information contained in the book, man. That's where our heritage has been taken from us. A lot of Jake in the world that you mentioned the Bible, they don't want to deal with it, but they'll deal with the Quran and all this other bullshit out there,
And keep all their high holy days and things like that, man. Continue on with that.
Because that's where you find the high holy days is contained in the laws, So our people are destroyed because they don't know that information. They don't know that. They don't have that knowledge anymore.
Our customs as far as, being circumcised, things like that. A lot of our people, on the smallest, lowest level think that you some kind of separated, or like the scripture do say, you're a holy people, separated. But they see like these so-called Muslims, the Nation of Islam, I'll put it that way. All right, no pork on my fork. And that's like a sign on their sleeve that they can wear. We different. We don't eat pork. Well, you don't realize that come out of the scriptures anyway, man. This was actually your customs, man. All right, but again, we was into all these different religions, and we created a lot of these different things, and we don't even know who the hell we are, man. We trying to be you know, we shouldn't be eating crab meat to begin with, but I'm using an analogy. We got real crabs, we gonna sell that shit and go buy some imitation crab meat. You know, we had our real customs, we got rid of that to go follow out the imitation customs and things like that, man. Go ahead back to that.
Reading on. And I will cause thee to serve thine enemies in the land which thou knowest not. For ye have kindled a fire in mine anger, which shall burn forever.
Come on, because why? We want to break the law, statutes, commandments. We want to turn our back on the Most High. You know, I think that's Deuteronomy 28 or 32, I mean, where it says, look, they didn't turn their back on me, man. All right? Matter of fact, you got something?
Yeah. What you
Go to Deuteronomy 32 real quick. So we were speaking about this last night on the phone, man. You know, this is where our people are at, man, because why? We said, oh no, we don't need none of this guidance, none of this instruction. We don't need to hear from y'all or from this here book. We want to go be like these other heathen, man. We want to be like these other nations or whatever, whatnot. Started verse, what's it, 3? Started verse 4.
This is Deuteronomy 32 and 4. Deuteronomy chapter 32, verse 4.
And this is where we're going into why the Most High want to put these curses upon us, man. All right?
And it reads, He is the rock, His work is perfect, for all His ways are judgment.
And that's talking about the Most High, man. All right? Like I said, we spoke about this a little bit last night, but a rock is perfect, man. It's always the right size, in the right place, the right weight. It's always shaped perfectly. You've never seen a rock that was misshapen. All rocks are created perfect, man. All right? So, hey, the Most High, hey, read that again.
He is the rock, His work is perfect.
Now, wait, why is all his work perfect? Keep reading.
All His ways are judgment.
Right, so when you start judging things and judging things in a righteous way, you're not going to really go off, right? If you know you didn't have too much to drink and you decide to go get in your car and go down the interstate at 100 miles an hour, did you make a good judgment or a bad judgment? You want to make it a bad judgment, so something bad's going to come up out of that, you know? If you would have made a good judgment, you know what, I've been drinking too much, I ain't trying to go out there and crash my car. That's you know, righteous ways. But what? Our people started doing this. We want to start being like these other nations. We want to be like these, what does that say? Where it says, choose you this day, whether you're going to serve the gods that was on the other side of the flood or the peoples who land you in this day. You know what I'm saying? The last tenants got kicked out for selling heroin and having a meth lab in their apartment. So what? You got this apartment because they was doing that and they got evicted. So you want to get evicted too? You want to follow after them as well too, man? All right, keep going.
And on the other side of the flood, that wasn't talking about Noah. They was talking about, I remember, during the time of Abraham, the Ur of the Chaldees, all right, where they was worshiping all those other gods, ancient Babylon, you know, pretty much what we have now, you know.
Because Abraham had to leave his father in them because their fathers in them was actually still doing all that wicked stuff, you know what I'm saying? That's why he had to teach Abraham anew.
Yep.
Go ahead.
It says, verse 5, it says, they have corrupted themselves.
Right, it's talking about the Israelites, us. We've corrupted ourselves by going off. Keep going.
It says, their spot is not the spot of His children.
And this is why we start to go into the discontinuing of our heritage, man. All right, you know, it's just like you got a parent that's trying to tell you how to do certain things or whatever, whatnot. You know, you got rules of the house. All right, look, when you come in my house, you're going to go in there, you're going to eat, you're going to wash your dishes or whatever, put the food up. Make sure you lock the door, don't have my door open all night, don't have this, and that. But you want to come in the house with your own rules and doing this and doing all of that, man. So now your parents are like, all right, since you don't, you know, you ain't trying to pay no rent, you don't want to take out the trash, you don't want to clean up nothing around here, you got to take your shit and get up out of my house, man. You no longer a resident here, man. Your mail don't come to this house no more, man. All right, read that part again.
It says their spot is not the spot of His children.
Going into that discontinuing from the heritage, all right? Keep going. And wait, the heritage that we got, all right, was supposed to be an example. What is that, Deuteronomy 4? Yeah. 7. Can you grab that real quick? No, 4 and 7. Because see, this was supposed to be our guidance, all right, amongst the sight of these heathens, man. All right, and this is why we've discontinued from our heritage, and this is why we're at the bottom of the bottom. Lord willing, we'll get to it in Ezekiel 37. We very dry bones, man.
It's the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 4, verse 6. Keep therefore and do them, for this is your wisdom and your understanding in the sight of the nations.
Going into the law, statutes, commandments, all right? This was part of our heritage, man. This is how you so-called have certain things done. This is the protocol. This is how, all right, you know, we're going to do this, do that, do so on and so forth, so we'll know how, like in the American government, they had something they called a continuity of government. You know, something was to happen, you know, they nuke the place or whatever, whatnot, or the president get killed, they got a chain of command of who succeeds who, so they can keep going all the way down, man. And they got a long list of these things so that, hey, no matter what you do, they can keep functioning, man. They know what the protocol is, man. We had the same thing with the law, statutes, commandments. We had different ways of dealing with certain things. You know, if you got a matter, you're supposed to bring it up between you speak to that brother or whatever, whatnot, and then that don't work, you bring it up to 2 or 3 people. That don't work, you bring it to the priest, man. You know, you had different things set in place for our people to do things certain types of ways, but guess what? We wind up going off from those things, all right? Keep going.
Reading on. Which keep therefore and do them, for this is your wisdom and your understanding and the sight of the nations.
Right, so this is going to be your wisdom, knowledge, and understanding in the sight of these different nations, right? So you see our people out here, they walking around bugged out, man. And people wonder, like, why do they do what they do over here, man? Because there's no wisdom, there's no knowledge inside of them. So these are the things that wind up turning our people out, is because they don't know who they are. They don't have no guidance. All right, they don't know, you know, the types of things that they will be doing. Eating certain types of foods is detrimental to their body. All right, so we've been trained up by the so-called white man. Here, eat the pork chops, eat these chitlins or whatever, whatnot. But then you go crabs and lobster. You go to the doctor, they tell you, look, you got to cut out this here swine, man. You got to cut out this here lobster, man. You got to cut these things out because it's not good for your body. And then you say, oh, I wish somebody would have told me about these things. Well, you discontinue from your heritage. It's heritage in the law, statutes, commandments.
Somebody did tell you. Everybody got a Bible. You know, so you had that information
right there the whole time.
Reading on. Which shall hear all these statutes and say, surely this great nation is a wise and understanding people.
Right. So, for instance, you have like those Middle Eastern countries where the women, they got the garbs on, they're not loudmouth, you know, they're not driving around. What happens when you go away from those things? You have things like this, man. And they don't got shit else to do but just sit here and just scream and do whatever, man. But then, hey, what happens when you discontinue from the order of things being set up? Yeah, but hey, the point I'm making is, you got certain women in these Eastern countries versus the ones over here. All right, when you break from certain types of orders and things like that, you get to what? Disorder, man. This is the state of our people that they're in now, because why? They strayed from the law, statutes, commandments. All right, this is why they would say, oh, there's some type of order, some type of understanding in these people, man. They know better than that. You know what I'm saying? You just walk around like, man, you should know better than that shit, man.
Like you said, the Eastern culture, because a lot of those nations that still do that, they go back to Abraham, you know?
Right.
Which it was a verbal law at that time still.
Right.
But, you know, that's why they still have that in customs.
Ishmael.
You know? Yeah, Ishmael.
He was before Isaac, you know? So he would have known about those things. All right? No, go back to, you had finished that in Jeremiah?
No, yeah.
Oh, I had something to go with what the brother was reading.
All right, go ahead.
This is, did you finish what you was reading?
Yeah.
Okay, got it. This is Deuteronomy 11, verse 26. Deuteronomy 11, verse 26. All right, this is the like the brother going into, since we lost our heritage, this is, the brother used the example about getting kicked out of the house. Well, there's consequences, right? It says, Deuteronomy 11 and 26, behold, I set before you this day a curse, and it's like a blessing and a curse. A blessing if ye obey the commandments of the Lord Yahweh, your power, which I command you this day, and a curse if ye will not obey the commandments of Yahweh, your power, but turn aside out of the way which I commanded you this day, to go after other gods which ye have not known.
Hey, what was that going to lead you to? Destruction. All right, you following after these false gods that can't save you, and so on and so forth, man. All right, that was a part of us not listening to the Most High, man. We would eventually start dying off and decaying, man. All right, remember that?
Yeah, Psalms 83?
Yep.
Okay. It's the book of Psalms, chapter 83, starting at verse 1. Psalms 83, verse 1. Keep not thou silence, O power. Hold not thy peace, and be not still, O power.
Hey, the real men of the Lord, man, we tired of these damn Edomites, man. This is what we crying out to, man. Hey, Lord, come and destroy these damn heathens, man. Because all they do is just keep, hey, like that in the book of Habakkuk say, man, they just go around and destroy the whole damn earth, man. If you leave them out long enough, they're going to, it's like a cancer, man. If you leave it long enough, it's going to permeate throughout the whole body and just destroy everything, man.
It's the spirit of vengeance on God.
Keep going. Keep going.
Verse 2. For lo, thine enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head.
Right, so these are the people that hate us. These are our enemies, man. They're against us, man. They're against us coming back to our nationality, who we are, man. They're doing whatever they can do to try to throw us off. Like, here we go over here. You got these Edomites over here yelling out, disrupting church or whatever, whatnot, going on so on and so forth. But then one of our people go over there, they want to try to block us all off, man. All right, but this is what the devil was made for, to try to throw things off, man. All right, keep going.
They have taken crafty counsel against thy people.
Right, they're taking this crafty counsel against the Israelites, man. This is like one of the biggest secrets in the whole world, man. This is why Esau's spending trillions and trillions of dollars on media, advertisement, sports, entertainment, to keep you niggas asleep, man. All right? This shit fast. Let's hurt disturb the devil.
Most High sent.
Hey, hold on, how about you outside, man? Because that's what it's gonna be like, man. Hey, this is what's gonna be like in those days, man. All right, matter of fact, hey, hold that. Somebody give me Micah chapter 5 real quick, man. If this is what it's gonna be like in those days, man. You're gonna be feeling all uncomfortable when you're surrounded by Jake like that, man. All that pride and all that shit's gonna go out the door right now, man. All right, because see, they have the so-called security of being able to call the police and everything like that, man. All right, go ahead.
Micah 5 and what you want?
And to do it miss many people.
Yeah, I got you. Yep.
7, I think.
This is Micah 5 and 7.
Yep.
Micah 5 verse 7. It says, "And the remnant of Jacob shall be in the midst of many people."
Right. This it says the remnant of Jacob. Right. This is gonna be the elect, the 144,000. Hey, when the Lord put that spiritual power on us, man. Hey, right now He sent out many fishers. We fishing them right now, right? But the Lord gonna change it up. We gonna start hunting these damn Edomites out, man. All right. Keep going.
"And the remnant of Jacob shall be in the midst of many people, as a dew from the Lord, as the showers upon the grass, that teareth not for men, nor waiteth for the sons of men."
Right, so in the scripture they was comparing it to like in the morning time when you wake up and you see the dew all over the grass, it's all covered, right? Jake got a saying in the world, I'm gonna be on your ass like white on rice. Show me the piece of rice that ain't white, man. That's how much we gonna be all over y'all ass at that point in time. It's not gonna be nowhere to hide. You're not gonna be able to roll up your minivan windows. You're not gonna be able to call 911. In certain places in the US right now, you can't even call 911. It's a no police zone. All right, how many Edomites is actually out there rolling around like that, man? All right, still calling Jake's niggas and shit in their face. Hey, these Edomites only doing that because they know they can call the police, man. But they would never get up out of their own situation, come up on Jake.
They only do it because they know if they have their blessing on them.
Right.
They're not gonna do it if they don't have their blessing with them.
Exactly.
You know?
Yep.
That's
Right.
That's why you always be circumspect. But Edomite acting tough,
You gotta
he got some shit on him.
Right.
You know?
And so, see, for example, she's talking all this shit to a bunch of men, and she see us over here reading the Bibles, but you had, one of our women just walk up on her. I mean, she don't really look like too much of a threat. Yeah, she rolled the window up, got uncomfortable, and bent the block, man. And that's just like one Eve, and she's not like in a battle state or nothing like that, man. Like, how much more you talking all that shit because you know all you gotta do is scream and cry, and the whole society will come down because a woman is getting taken out, man, by a group of men. But the Lord's not gonna have no mercy and no pity on you people out here, man. Hold on, deck that Ezekiel chapter 9, verse 5. Continue on with that.
Come on, verse 8. It says, "The remnant of Jacob shall be among the Gentiles in the midst of many people, as a lion among the beasts of the forest,
Right.
as a young lion among the flocks of sheep."
Right.
Tear them up.
Yeah, young lions. You put a young lion up around sheep, it's gonna kill them all, man.
Keep tear them up. Keep reading. It's gonna go right into that.
It says, "Who, if he go through, will tread it down, and tear it to pieces, and none can deliver."
Hey, like Brother Ash was just saying, man, you let a damn lion loose into a pen of sheep, man, hey, it's gonna just be blooded and wool everywhere, man. All right, it's gonna be a straight up massacre, man. All right, so this is what's gonna be like in those days, man. See, you got this animosity that's already pent up by Jake over these Edomites. You know, they was riding around for JJ last week. Ain't no telling the police. They said justice for JJ, so he might have got shot by the police, man. So what do you think the sentiment in these people's minds are for these Edomites if they was be able to catch any of these police officers with their badge off, they gun down, catch them in the alley or whatever? You got some place where these police is actually getting shot at, man. All right, whether it be a setup or not a setup. But look, Jake know good and damn well that's a trick to try to fight an Edomite with a badge on because it's a death penalty for that, man. All right, but if they was to catch their ass out in the alley or somewhere one-on-one, Jake will run through their ass, man. All right, and in this point in time, this is what it's going to be like.
Verse 9.
Is that it? Yep.
It says, "Thy hand shall be lifted up upon thy adversaries, and all thy enemies shall be cut off."
Hey, so In those days when these things come to pass, man, the Lord's going to... All right? Matter of fact, just go ahead and read that in Ezekiel 9 and start at verse 5.
All right. It's the book.
Yeah, well, you can start at 4. All kind of shit, man. You know what I'm saying? We got curses going on inside of us with our family, our wives, our children. All right, man, we catching hell on all sides, man. But what? The men of the Lord are signing, crying for all these abominations, right? So it's a set of mark upon their head, which goes into the word, I believe, tawak, which is an exemption from judgment, right? So now let's turn the tables to the rest of them. Go ahead on verse 5. Because we just read about how Jacob, the remnant, was going to be in the midst of these people, all right, like the dew on the grass or like white on rice. Go ahead.
Verse 5. And to the others he said in mine hearing, go ye after him through the city, and smite. Let not your eyes spare, neither have pity.
Right, so no mercy on these people, man. All right, when the Lord sent out those spirits to start exacting judgment on these people, man, it's going to be without mercy, man. Because why? You ain't show no mercy when you was over here judging the Israelites, man. You know, they were like, happy shall you be able to take it, then dash it out little ones against the stones, man. You know, this is where they get C-sections from. They used to cut the woman's stomach, let the baby fall out and smash them up against trees and stuff, man, when they was marching us like on a trail of tears, man. All right? So what? When these things start coming to pass, man, and you already start to see the decay of the police departments and things like that, which they're going to bring out martial law. But we also know in the scriptures how they say they're not going to regard their kings or their princes and dash out little ones against the stones, man. You know, this is where they get C-sections from. They used to cut the woman's stomach, let the baby fall out and smash them up against trees and stuff, man, when they was marching us like on a trail of tears, man. All right? So what? When these things start coming to pass, man, and you already start to see the decay of the police departments and things like that, which they're going to bring out martial law. But we also know in the scriptures how they say they're not going to regard their kings or their princes, man. It's going to be like an all-out purge out here, man, and the Lord going to ultimately... Nation's going to see the work we're putting in on their ass, like Isaiah 60 said, they're going to start bringing them to them, man. Hey, man, don't fuck us up, man. Here go my sons and my daughters and all my gold, man. All right?
Never mind. Go ahead. I was gonna hit him with it quick. Spirit had me hold it just in case he came back. Man.
They came
as soon
back?
as they saw. Go ahead.
Hey, that's the spirit, though. They want to keep coming back and doing all of that. But what? That witchcraft is falling away, man. You know, because they're so used to being able to do all these things, but it's like, damn, you know, they might have felt a little burning or whatever, whatnot. Hey, man, it's over for these damn Edomites, man. All right? Finish. Yeah. Go back to verse 5.
It's the book of Ezekiel, chapter 9, verse 5. And to the others he said in mine hearing, go ye after him through the city, and smite. Let not your eyes spare, neither have ye pity. Read on verse 6. Slay utterly old and young, both maids and little children.
Hey, so old and young, man. You see some of these old folks riding around in little wheelchairs or whatever, whatnot, man. Hey, man, they slated for death as well, too, man. Somebody just had a brand new baby in the ICU or whatever, whatnot. Hey, man, them motherfuckers getting laid down, man. If you're not with the Lord and the part of that elect number, man, it's over for your ass, man. All right, and if you do happen to make it, your ass is going into slavery. So it would have been better for you to just be out in the beginning half anyway, man.
And that don't apply in America, because if you make it to the end,
your ass
going into
misses.
slavery.
Yeah,
you going into the lake of fire.
Yeah, con. You missing food over here.
I got, well, I figured that.
Yeah, real stuff.
Verse 6. Slay utterly old and young, both maids and little children, and women.
Right, so look, in that day, man, you know how nowadays, you know, if Jake went up and just slapped the shit out of that woman or whatever, whatnot, there was guys, oh my gosh, how horrible if you put your hands on these women like that or whatever, whatnot. Hey, man, but she out of order, right? But in this day, it's not going to have no pity, man. All right, he's not going to be sparing somebody because it's a woman, your sister, your wife, or whatever, whatnot. Hey, man, all these loud ass, and this is how they're going to be, this is how they're going to be humbled in that day, man. When you read in Isaiah 4:1, these women are saying, look, we're going to take care of ourselves, man. Just let us be called by our name for our protection. You don't have no woman on the face of the earth right now that's got that in their mindset. Look, you don't got to take care of me. I'll take care of you just to save me from this thing. These women nowadays is like the woman you just seen, man. Pride is exceeding in their minds, man. They want to usurp authority over a man, do all this and that, act all big and bad because they know that they're living in this here queendom, all right, the mother of harlots, where they can do all these types of things and get away with it, man. But if you say something rough to her, if you was to cuss that lady out, like, shut up, you stupid bitch, everybody look at you like you done did something wrong, man. But we're over here trying to edify and teach our people, and she's over here in our business, man. But yet and still, in this day, it's not gonna have no mercy on these people, man. No matter what size or what side of the fence you in, you a child, an old person, a woman. All right, keep reading.
But come not near any man upon whom is the mark, and begin at my sanctuary.
Right, because for one, you have the only righteous people in this point in time is the ones that sign and cry for all the abominations, the ones standing up for the will of the Most High in these times, man. Not the ones that's trying to disturb these things to keep you asleep and so on and so forth, man. Yahweh's coming back to reign. He want to reign, man. He wants his time to reign, but what? You got a lot of people hindering these things or trying to hinder these things. All right, like we had an example over there, man. We're trying to edify the elect, trying to put out these here lessons to seal all the elect. Boy, you have people that want to stop that from going out because why? They want to keep their kingdom going.
It's like when we're rebuilding the temple, the Eden. We're trying to stop it. So, this is specifically talking about Israelites. So how much more is the Lord going to have less pity and mercy on the heathen, man? You know, like a dirty Edomite like that. You know, the Lord going to have no mercy on His own people. You know, the majority of them. How much more is He going to do to the heathen? You know.
Hey, yeah, well, read that last verse again. Just back for the end of the last verse. Start with the ancient.
Ezekiel chapter 9, starting at verse 6, and it says, and begin at my sanctuary. Then they began at the ancient men which were before the house.
See, like Brother Ash was just saying, you know, just dealing with Jake, you know, start at the sanctuary, man. The ancient, the older people, you know, they're supposed to be the ones guiding us and showing us a certain type of way in these times. You know what I'm saying? But what? They all out here bugged out, man. You got grandmas out here twerking and shit with some booty shorts on, man. Got her grandbaby over there trying to videotape it for her, man. Come on, man. What do you think is going to grow out of that, man?
Yeah, they don't want to be called grandmas, bro. You know, grandma or nana. Don't call me grandma. See, they don't even want to play their position as a woman. You know,
People are supposed to look up to their elders.
Yeah,
you know?
no, they don't like that. Because why they still want to go out and be, as old as they are, they still want to go out and be promiscuous.
Hang out with their granddaughters at the club and shit.
Yeah.
Right. Scripture says to the aged woman, you know, that she be sober, keep her at home, teach her of good things. What's good about shaking your ass and put little kids up on stripper poles that you have in your living room, man? Teaching the little girls that they don't need a man.
Right.
You know?
Those aren't good things. Yeah, man.
That was it on that. That's all right, this is Isaiah 59, verse 19. Isaiah 59, verse 19. So shall they fear the name of Yahweh from the west, and His glory from the rising of the sun. When the enemy shall come in like a flood, the Spirit of the Most High, Yahweh Shai, shall lift up a standard against him.
Hey, that's going into the Lord putting that spiritual power on His elect, man. All right, when they come in like a flood, all right, their troops and everything like that, man. All right, this is when the Lord is going to start exalting and glorifying the elect, man. All right, and then in those days, it's not going to be, because look, when the enemy shall come in like a flood, man. All right, so imagine the type of person like the lady that was over there in the van. You got a lot of people in the same mind state, man. Proud as hell, man. Imagine,
ready for confrontation.
Yeah, ready for confrontation, but guarantee if the police would have rolled up on her, martial law troops would have rolled up on her, put that M16 in her face, oh my God, she would, hey, why do I see all men with their hands in their loins as if a woman in travail, man? And those points of times, man. All right, so look, this is talking about when the enemy shall come in like a flood, the Lord's going to raise up a standard. The standard is going to be the men with the spiritual power. So how much more, if you can't stand the martial law troops, how much more these men with spiritual power, man? All right? And they're going to be going out putting this in work, man. All right?
Second Ezra chapter 8 and verse 50. And this was what I was going to pull out when she was standing there, or pulled up. It says, "For many great miseries shall be done to them that in the latter time shall dwell in the world, because they have walked in great pride."
Hey, and that's ultimately going to what? Believing in themselves in certain type of ways. Like this woman over here, right? If she would have understood in her mind, they have these societal so-called rules and things like that a man shouldn't hit a woman. All right, but if she knew in her regular mind that if I talk this shit to these men and they come over here and they bust me in my shit, there's nothing I can do about it. I'm gonna be humble. She wouldn't do all that, right?
That caring spirit.
Caring spirit, just like a little child, man. You have a little child that's growing up. Every time he get out of line, his father discipline him. This is why you got Edomite kids and Jake kids Edomite kids go home cuss their parents out, man. How dare you do that to your father as a Jake? You know what I'm saying? Like, what? I told you to go take out the trash. I'll do it when I feel like it. Shit. Hey, you might not live. You might not live. Yeah, exactly. So what? You have to understand by what this. They're walking in their great pride because why? They believe that they can do all these different things. They don't see. So first of all, so-called Negro, Latino, or Native American man putting their hands on no Edomite, let alone an Edomite woman, and living. You know, but when the Lord come and establish these things, man, there's gonna be no mercy out here for these people, man. But they're believing in their pride of their own heart, man. Oh no, it's gonna go on forever. We're gonna keep doing all this. I wish they would come over here and say something to me. I wish they would go do this, and that, man. But in that day when the Lord raises that their standard, man, it's gonna be all over for these people, man.
Hey, like you said, you know, they're childish. You know, that's why the scripture says women rule over them, and children are their oppressors. You know, because them children that are their oppressors talking about Esau. He's a fucking big ass, grown ass kid, man. That's why you see them making noises and shit, because they want to play around, man. That's all they want to do is play fucking game. Well, the Most High is getting ready to come back and play a game. Is called Catch the Missile. That's what the game's going to be called.
Hey, he's about to start putting that terror into their minds, man, where they can't sleep at night. They seeing all kind of different things or whatever, whatnot, man. All right, they just having a bad time, man. As a matter of fact, through the spirit, I was talking to somebody earlier in this week, somebody I wound up going to school with or whatever, when I seen them again. Like, oh, how's it been going? You know, this person was all proud and doing everything. Man, this chick wound up getting kidnapped, held hostage for 8 hours. Boyfriend beat the shit out of her, now she's scared, trying to find somewhere to stay and shit. Like, damn, it was all good a year ago. You was all balling, everything was all good. You didn't get touched by COVID. You know, she did lose a job at one point in time, but it's like, damn, how the fuck you get held hostage for 8 hours and your ass beat and everything like that? Hey, that pride, you was all proud beforehand, but now you all being humble, man. This is what the Lord is doing to all these people out here right now, man. It's only gonna get worse. All right?
Quite the story.
Isaiah 2:11, you know, all the proud looks gonna be humble, you know.
Hey, real quick, when you cry, it gives off a certain energy. And these Americans, what they are, they're pride, man. That's why the scriptures say the earth shall be at rest. Because all that energy, that prideness, it's gonna be neutralized. It's gonna be flatlined. So even the earth you're gonna feel the peace on the earth because the pride of the people is just gonna be brought so low.
And it's gonna be through what the brother read through those great miseries. Yeah. You know, that's what's gonna stop all that proud. You know, you can't be proud when there's, you know, you're scared to leave your house. You know,
right?
How you gonna be proud then? Huh?
Humble. Hey, for a prime example, man. If any of you brothers remember what the sentiment was like in America before 9/11, everybody was all proud and going out and so on and so forth, and you had racism, you know, was a certain point, right? But as soon as them towers dropped, man, everybody was brothers at this point in time, man. Oh my God, they were just all walking around humbled or whatever, whatnot, because it was something so drastic they had never seen before happen. All right, and that was when what? 2 buildings fell, when the Pentagon got hit, a couple planes went down. Imagine when the Lord started bringing death and destruction on a way larger level. Like, hey, 2020, man, the economy, the global economy collapsed, man. You had all these proud ass people out here with the money phones and everything like that, throwing money and making it rain in the club, losing their jobs, moving out of high rise or whatever. They ain't talking shit now. You know what I'm saying? They ain't on the internet. Hey, we were speaking about this last week. You know, they're bragging and boasting now is the fact that they on Instagram on vacation somewhere. Don't matter where they went, just stay on vacation somewhere. Like, damn, that's the biggest thing in your whole situation.
I got you real quick. Going on to what you're speaking about, that standard getting lifted. Zechariah chapter 12 and verse 8. Zechariah chapter 12 and verse 8. In that day shall the Lord Yahweh Bashim Yahushai defend the inhabitants of Jerusalem, and he that is feeble among them at that day shall be as David.
And real quick, you know, it says that the Most High was going to defend Jerusalem, man. All right, and this is going to be by what? His spiritual ways first and foremost, not by carnal ways, man. So you got this guy that's out here. Keep holding that though. You got this guy out there, Grandmaster Jay, and them talking about getting carnal arms. But this is all a trap that Esau wants you to do. Go out there and fight him with his same weapon, man. All right, so he can be justified for bringing down that gun on you, man. All right, but look, we're not trying to stack up guns and everything. Like, first of all, we wise enough to know it ain't enough bullets in the world that we can buy to outgun Esau. This nigga he the one created all this stuff, man. It ain't no gun that we can get big enough, no bombs big enough we can get to outdo Esau with his shit, man. They got drones, all kind of shit. So, hey, us trying to fight him in that carnal sense, it's not going to work out. So what? We got to wait for the Lord to defend us. Keep going on that.
And if I may back you up too, and that's knowing that he was given that blessing.
Right.
But you gotta understand that somebody actually gave him the blessing of the sword.
Right. Put him in
You know
that
what I mean?
position.
Yeah. So that man is getting ready to come back and take that blessing from him, man.
That's
See?
right.
So his time is up, bro. So don't be afraid of man. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, Yahweh Shem Shai gave him that blessing. His time is up. The beginning of it that followed is here, you brothers. Zechariah chapter 12, verse 8. In that day shall the Lord defend the inhabitants of Jerusalem, and he that is feeble among them at that day shall be as David.
Hey, so, you might be looking at your little small feeble self now. I'm all skinny. I ain't this and that. I can't run that much. I'm in this defiled ass, decrepit ass body. I got a limp or whatever, whatnot. Hey, man, how we gonna survive when these martial law troops start kicking in doors and shit, man? You know what I'm saying? I get hungry after a certain amount of hours. How am I gonna go prolong without no food, man? Hey, don't worry about all that, man. The Lord's gonna defend us, man. All right, it said that the feeble among you gonna be like King David, man. And King David was like the greatest warrior that we read about in the scriptures, man. All right, they was going out. Saul has killed his thousands and David his tens of thousands, man. Imagine that being on the battlefield, putting like 10,000 people to death, man. And one day, man, just running through, just slaying shit, man. Hey, there's a whole section in the Bible where he said, hey, he delivered this field, he delivered this field, he delivered this field, man. That's King David. So the feeble among us is going to be like King David, man. All right, but it gets better. Keep reading.
God. In the house of David.
Right, now this is going to the elect, right?
Shall be as powers.
Right, like angels, man. King David had...
God.
You had a situation where David wound up going off, right? And the Lord let him choose his judgment, right? So he was like, well, shit, I'll just take basically the Lord coming to plague me. So the Lord sent the angel on him, but then the Lord had to, hold the angel back because the angel was fucking some shit up, right? And you got to think about the flood, man. It's basically like what one angel came and killed off the whole planet Earth with rain, man. All right, so look, the elect gonna be like what? Like the angels. Read that again.
In the house of David shall be as God, as the angel of the Lord before them.
Right. Hey, think about that. The angel, the death angel, Yahweh, basically in the land of Egypt. All right, on the first Passover, went through and touched all the firstborns of everybody, man. All right, he didn't necessarily just go through and start strangling them out. No, hell no, man. That spiritual power, man. They woke up and there was nothing but crying and sighing because what? Everybody was realizing all our firstborns are all dead. Not only the man, but the beast as well too, man. All right, Pharaoh and his army. Pharaoh lost his son, man.
Hey, Pharaoh, man.
Then he drug the Pharaoh out to the damn Red Sea, man. The world's greatest military is where we at again, man. We're between a rock and a hard place. We got the world's greatest military about to start chasing us down again, man. Bring us to the Red Sea. But at this point in time, we got a whole ocean around us. Where we gonna go, man? We can't go nowhere, man. All right, so what? The only way is up. The Lord will have to deliver us out of this situation, man. All right, so keep going.
Verse.
Finish that, and I got a precept.
Last verse. Verse 9. And it shall come to pass in that day that I will seek to destroy all the nations that have come up against Jerusalem.
All the nations.
Hey, so that's not us. You know what I'm saying? That's the Most High and His will, man. All right, but he's, Jeremiah 51:20, He uses us as His weapons, His battle axe, and weapons of war. All right, He has His certain tools to do these certain things. But ultimately, the Lord is about to start doing this here work for us, man. All right?
Kind of real quick, because you were talking about how the Lord is, going to have us in that day. This is in 2nd Ezra, chapter 8, and verse 51. 2nd Ezra, chapter 8, and verse 51. It says, but understand thou for thyself, and seek out the glory for such as be like thee. For unto you is paradise open, the tree of life is planted, the time to come is prepared, plenteousness is made ready, a city is builded, and rest is allowed, yea, perfect goodness and wisdom. It says, and this is the point, these next two verses, it says, the root of evil is sealed up from you, weakness and the moth is hid from you, and corruption is fled into hell to be forgotten. Sorrows are past, and in the end is showed the treasure of immortality, man.
Hey, going into that, this is the difference between being in your carnal mind, the things that you see, your carnal emotions or whatever, whatnot, man. Again, we smart enough to know that there is no chance in hell of us surviving this shit, man. We can't survive nukes, drones, none of that, right? So what do? We lean onto spiritual things, Yahweh Shem Shah, to deliver us from these things, man. All right, so when you're trying to, oh man, how we gonna eat? We can see this, we can see that. Hey man, we got plenty of, the scriptures say, wisdom and knowledge be the stability of that time, man. We read about all these different examples that we had that was miraculous deliveries and things like that, man. So we know that the Lord is going to deliver us in these same times, man.
This is Psalms 44. Psalms 44, verse 4. The point is at 6. It says,
It says,
Thou art my king, O God, command deliverance for Jacob. Through thee will we push down our enemies.
Say, read that part again.
Through thee will we push down our enemies.
Come through a spiritual way, all right?
Through thy name will we tread upon them. It's like it, tread them under that rise up against us. And this is the point. For I will not trust in my bow, neither shall my sword save me.
Hey, so your carnal means ain't gonna be the ones to deliver you, man. All right. So, but nevertheless, the Lord is gonna be our salvation in these times, man. All right. So you have to understand through your spiritual eye and also your spiritual means, man. Have your faith on the Lord, man. Calling on His name. All right.
Can somebody say we're downtown? It's the book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 3. Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 3, starting at verse 7. And in the time of their visitation, they shall shine and run to and fro like sparks among the stubble. I want the spiritual power. That's what's getting ready to happen, man.
And it's going into the scriptures a little bit. Read that again. It's going on. No, you good?
This is the book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 3.
Hey, and this is where they get the depiction of in Dragon Ball Z, man. You know, where they get those the depiction of how they had a little fire around them and the little lightning or whatever, whatnot. Go ahead. And you see them powering up, going to Super Saiyan or whatever, whatnot. Just imagine like Vegeta. Power up. Yeah. Are you ready? Hey, are you ready?
Yeah.
Are you ready to power up?
Power up.
Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 3, verse 7. And in the time of their visitation, they shall shine and run to and fro like sparks among the stubble.
Wait.
Hey, sparks, that's pure energy.
Yeah.
Pop and pop, pop, pop. That's just pure energy, man. You know?
That's like Flash.
Yeah.
Moving so fast, he would just leave. All you see was sparks, man.
I was gonna say also Quicksilver and X-Men or whatever, whatnot, man. Hey, so when you watch these movies, man, there's nothing new under the sun. This is where they get all these different things from, and they all characteristics of where they get out of the scriptures and things like that, man. All these different. This is why you're drawn to it, man. This is why you have that. Oh, damn, I like this show or this cartoon or whatever, whatnot, because it's whether you knew about it in the scriptures or not. You know what I'm saying? We knew about this in our past lives, you know? Go ahead.
Yeah, some of us were there. Just like when King David killed tens of thousands, he had to be moving through them like they couldn't even keep up with the man, you know? So imagine that.
They said I jumped through, leaped over walls. You know, they had that movie Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. You know, where do you think they get that from? Where they just be not levitating, but they be jumping over the walls and everything like that, man.
Just imagine,
you know what I'm saying?
They be jumping building to buildings and shit.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Reading on verse 8. They shall judge the nations and have dominion over the people, and their Lord shall reign forever.
Hey, that's going into what? The end time where we was just reading it, the transition of power, man. All right, because why? It says we're going to judge the nations. You can read about that in Obadiah, where it's talking about he's going to raise up saviors to judge the mount of Esau. All right, and then what? These other nations, Psalms, what is that? Psalms 2 and 8. You know, asking me that I should give the heathen for thy inheritance to the uttermost part of. Yeah, Khan. All right, to judge these other nations, man. Well, we're going to have these spiritual powers, man. We're not going to be over here. It's not like, you know what I'm saying, the Lord going to give us some new so-called military stuff, a brand new tank or something to wage war like. No, man. No, man. Them chariots coming with them lasers, all right, and they're going to see the work that was done just like in Egypt again, man. When we was in Egypt the first time, what Rahab the harlot say, hey, man, the men of our nation heard of what your power did unto these people, and their hearts melted, man. They don't want no smoke, man. They don't want no smoke, man. They heard y'all was coming, them niggas left, man. They left all their shit and everything, they just left, bro. They didn't want the smoke, man. This is what's going to be like in that point in time, because right now, everybody's in fear of Esau right now, man. Because why? He made fire come from the heavens with those nuclear bombs and everything like that, man. They're scared of getting bombed by Esau, man. But once they see our power come and take Esau out of power with all his power and all his might, and it's going to be looking like child's play, like, wait a minute. Esau wasn't even no threat until with this outside power that came or whatever, whatnot. So how much more we all got to band together to take him out of power, and this unknown power just came and put his ass to sleep like that, man. We ain't fucking with that, man. They gonna know at this point in time, and this is gonna be like, you know what? We don't want to smoke, man. All right.
I got something for you hot.
Good.
Hot. This is Isaiah chapter 40 and verse 25. Isaiah chapter 40 in verse 25. To whom then will ye liken me? Or shall I be equal, saith the Holy One? Lift up your eyes on high, and behold, who have created these things, that bringeth out of their hosts by number. He calleth them all by names, by the greatness of his might. For that he is strong in power, not one faileth. Verse 28. Hast thou not known? Hast thou not heard that the everlasting power, Yahweh, the creator of the ends of the earth, fainteth not, neither is weary?
Hey, there was this old wrestler that used to come out, Road Dogg James. He started out, oh, you didn't know? But the scripture saying like, yo, man, the Most High don't get tired, man. You're not going to, hey, well, if we just keep hitting them on the flank or over here or whatever, whatnot. No, man, the Most High, hey, he's just playing with you people out here, man. All right, he's the one that's created these things into your minds, moving the minds of the kings or whatever, whatnot, to build up their technology, their weapons and things like that, man. But and in fact, he's making it a so-called decent fight for himself, man. All right, because he could just pull a Thanos, come up there and just be like, you don't exist no more. All right, but he's allowing you to get your AI technology and all these different things like that, your laser weapons and all these different things like that. Then he's still gonna beat you to utter powder, man. All right.
It says there is no searching of his understanding.
Right, you can't find out how the Most High is able to do these things. You can only so-called mimic it on the left-hand side, man. Mimic it. All right, so he like the Most High can sit here and track you this way and that way, but they have their so-called tracking devices, their radars or whatever, whatnot. But what? Hey, the chariots don't show up on radars unless they want to be seen on the radars, man. And there's been plenty of videos where obviously they try to find them on radar, can't find them, but then the chariots will also show up on radar and actually not be right there, man. Like, oh, it's right there in front of us, but we don't see it at all. It's like a bunch of them around us, and they can't see shit, man. All right, keep going.
It says, he giveth power to the faint.
Hey, going back to what we was just reading, man, the people are going to be like David, man. All right, so he's going to raise us up into these days, man, because I believe it's going to the spiritual power, right? Yeah. So just keep reading, then we'll go into it.
He giveth power to the faint, and to them that have no might,
right,
he increases strength.
And that's where we at right now. Again, we know he's quote-unquote smart enough to know that there's no way in hell we can beat Esau, man, carnally. There's no way in hell, man. We got to have a spiritual intervention, man, a divine intervention, man, to come and save us, man, because there's no way that we can survive this shit, man. All right, keep going.
Verse 30, even the youth shall faint and be weary.
Yes, sir. Hey, you think you strong or you a boxer, you've been doing all this and you doing all that? Keep reading.
And the young men shall utterly fall. But they that wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength.
Right, so you got a lot. First of all, in these 2nd Ezra 13, you know, they was afraid but durst fight. This is talking about the military men, man. All right, so these akin to these young men or whatever, whatnot, they think they all good to go out there, whatever, whatnot. But these military men, they was afraid but durst fight. The Lord had to put the spirit in the fight anyway. When you go into what's the other scripture, Jeremiah chapter 30, verse 5, or where they say, why do I hear every man with their hands in the loins and the woman in travail? You know, why they out here screaming? Why they scared out here, man? All right, but what? Those men are gonna wind up fainting in those days. But what? The ones that's waiting on the Lord to draw them out of these ways, man. All right, keep going.
They shall mount up with wings as eagles, and they shall run and not be weary.
So hey, there's no way else to break that down. They gonna mount up with wings, man. There's
what
no
do wings do?
Yeah.
Fly.
Hey, and if you think it's some kind of other wings, it says it's an eagle. All right, there's no way of breaking that scripture down, man. It says what it says, man. The Lord gonna give you these spiritual powers, like what in the movie Hancock, you know, all these different cartoons and things like that, man. All right, notice they keep coming out with these different mutant movies or these superhero movies or whatever, whatnot, showing you the things that's about to come to pass anyway, man. All right, this is the only way you're gonna be delivered up out of these here things, man. Because Esau got the technology to track you, see through the buildings and everything like that, man. But it's gonna literally be like in that day, one of them X-Men movies. They was rolling by and Jean Grey had the power to touch the people around them, and they was like looking for them. They was right there. You know, they turned invisible. But why? They had so-called superpowers. But what? These are talking about spiritual powers that the Lord's gonna give to the elect, man.
It says, they shall run and not be weary, and they shall walk and not faint.
Hey, they ain't gonna get tired, man. You're not gonna be like, oh, we'll just wait till they get out of energy or whatever. Whatnot. Hey, man, you might be out there delivering a field or a whole area 2-3 days on end, just battling it out with them, just playing with them, man, the whole time, man. All right.
And this is why the scripture says this, because the power that the Lord is about to bestow on his men. This is 2nd Ezra chapter 2. All right, this is why what we're about to read is going to happen. It's going to be possible to what brothers are going into, man, those powers. All right? It says, 2nd Ezra chapter 2, verse 28. I'll start at 27. Be not wary, for when the day of trouble and heaviness cometh, others shall weep and be sorrowful, but thou shalt be merry and have abundance. The heathen shall envy thee, but they shall be able to do nothing against thee, saith the Lord. What can they do to you if you can walk on water, run, fly through the sky, call fire down from heaven, walk through fire, But they're gonna look at you. You could just roll up on somebody, take their food, and they can't do nothing. And that's why I say they're gonna envy thee and not be able to do nothing. They're gonna watch you from the distance like, fuck, fucking niggers. And that's what you're gonna do, though.
Just look at the envy that they have for us already, man. Like, you go back to the story about Joseph, right? The Lord his father and his mother favored him. His siblings, his brothers got mad about that, right? The Lord started working with him and giving him these dreams. The brothers got even more mad at that, man. Think about us in these here times that we're living in now, man. People, oh, you think you better than us or whatever. You think you write this and that. You think that's going to save you or whatever, whatnot. But then look, when things start popping off, like, again, 2020 right now, man. We over here rejoicing and partying and living it up. While they over here losing their jobs, they looking at us with even more hatred. But imagine in that same day, man, their whole family just got slaughtered by the martial law troops or whatever, whatnot. Then all of a sudden they see us or whatever, whatnot. Then all of a sudden they see, oh, yeah, that's right. The police got this nigga surrounded. They pull out their guns and start shooting, and the bullets and start bouncing off, man. They gonna want to say some shit like, man, fuck these niggas, man. But what they gonna say when they see you not getting put to death, man? They be like, oh shit. Hey, that's that Wisdom Solomon 5, man. That's strange to their salvation, man.
And
Right?
when they see the healing side,
Right.
What you gonna do to somebody that just raised somebody from the dead?
Right.
You gonna be in fear. The typical person, that hate the heathens. That's what it said. The heathen shall envy thee. What they ain't gonna be able to say nothing, do nothing. And then it said, ended off saying, saith the Lord. So that's what the Lord said. All right, and it's gonna be through the standard that the Lord's gonna set up, man. Lift up, and it's gonna be a standard that is unreachable. Like how Goku would go in and fight these peasants in the tournaments. He was on a whole nother level, man. He didn't even he beat one dude just flicking him,
Hey, and you see that movie Bloodsport?
Bloodshot?
Bloodshot, yeah, Bloodshot. Where they pretty much put the nanites, replaces blood cells with the nanites. You see, with the nanites, he was able to what? Arm get blown, it just form back in part, man. So, just that DNA, man. When the Most High turn us up, like the brother from England, like say, the Lord gonna release a gene code in here that these devils only dream of, man. And that's what it is, man. The Lord is cold.
Wow.
That's what it's gonna be.
He's gonna
The Lord's gonna enhance us by unlocking our power, our brain power, man. And then he saw, like the brother said, that his technology, he gonna have super soldiers. We gonna crush them, man. That ain't gonna be nothing. That's like the hope, how he would just run through the military, and then remember they had that super soldier guy that dude was nothing for the hope, man.
Hey, I got something for you, brother. It's hot for you. Wisdom of Solomon 5 and 15. Wisdom of Solomon chapter 5 and verse 15. But the righteous live forevermore. Their reward also is with the Lord, and the care of them is with the Most High. Therefore shall they receive a glorious kingdom and a beautiful crown from the Lord's hand. For with his right hand shall he cover them, and with his arm shall he protect them. He shall take to him his jealousy for complete armor, and it's the point, and make the creature his weapon for the revenge of his enemies.
Hey, that's exactly what we're going into. Might as well. Hey, you was done on that?
Yeah,
So
bring it back.
Yeah, read it again.
Verse 17. Yeah.
Wisdom of Solomon 5 and 17. He shall take to him his jealousy for complete armor, and make the creature his weapon for the revenge of his enemies.
Hey, Khan. Hey, the Lord is about to, again, Yahushua is actually coming back to fight. But the Most High Yahweh is not coming out here to do, you know, any of these things. He has his tools, man. All right, starting with Yahweh Shai on down. All right. Hey, the Lord's gonna have his elect out here putting in this here work, man. All right.
The battle's gonna begin before Yahweh Shai return, man. But you know, of course, we're gonna be on a whole nother level when we get changed bodies. You know, we're gonna be on. So if we're gonna be on an unattainable level, you know, when the standards are risen, how much more when the bodies are changed, you know, and the Lord turn us fully 100%, you know, like you got on the burner, low, medium, and when the Lord comes back, we're gonna be on high all the way.
Beaming red.
Go ahead and get that answer. Like the brother saying, hey, the Lord's got to turn us up to a different level, right? Go ahead.
It's the book of Ezekiel, chapter 25, starting at verse 12. Thus saith the Lord power, because that Edom hath dealt against the house of Judah by taking vengeance, and hath greatly offended, and revenged himself upon them. Therefore, thus saith the Lord power, I will also stretch out mine hand upon Edom.
Right, now this is going into, you know, Esau, you know, the judgment on Esau, all right, but not just Esau, the rest of these nations as well too, you know. There's a point in here I wanted to bring out because the brother was saying that the Lord is going to have to turn us up to this, right? Go ahead.
And will cut off man and beast from it, and I will make it desolate from Teman, and they of Dedan shall fall by the sword.
Right, so the Most High is about to make this place desolate, all right, but he's also going to use his men to do so. Go ahead.
And I will lay my vengeance upon Edom by the hand of my people.
Right, so he said, I will lay my vengeance upon Edom by the hand of my people. All right, so the Most High himself ain't coming down here and going to touch you this way and that way. He's going to put the spirit on his people to do these things, right? Go ahead.
Reading on.
Read that verse again.
Verse 14. And I will lay my vengeance upon Edom by the hand of my people Israel, and they shall do in Edom according to mine anger, and according to my fury.
So it says according to the Most High's anger and according to his fury, man. Right now you can see us thinking we all super mad with these Edomites, but we're not as mad as the Most High is, right? And in those points of times, like the brother was reading, we're not going to be wearied or faint. The Most High going to put his spirit on us, man. We might be out there for a week straight just out here slaying folks, man. You know what I'm saying? Not getting tired about these things because why the Most High put his spirit on us to do these things, man.
And they shall know my vengeance, saith the Lord power.
Read the last verse.
Verse 14?
No. 17, the last verse.
Oh, last verse. Verse 17. And I will execute great vengeance upon them with furious rebukes.
Read it. Start that over again.
This is Ezekiel 25 and 17. And I will execute great vengeance.
So the Most High said he's going to execute great vengeance, all right? Go ahead.
Upon them with furious rebukes.
Right, so you know, between what the brother was reading, the rest of it is just going into more judgment on these heathen nations, right? But look, we was reading about how the Most High was about to use his people, the creature, for the weapon, right? Go ahead. Going to these spiritual powers.
And they shall know that I am Yahweh, when I shall lay my vengeance upon them.
Right, so the Most High is about to start laying his vengeance upon these people by the hands of his people, right? So real quick, go ahead with that.
This is Jeremiah
Start at verse 19.
51, verse 19. The prophet Jeremiah, chapter 51, verse 19, it says, the portion of Jacob is not like them, for he is the former of all things. And Israel's...
So real quick, going into that, hey, we're the beginning of all these different things, you know, because people think, oh, they know how to do this, they know how to do that, or whatever, whatnot. But hey, we had all these things before everybody else so-called got to it, you know, or whatever, whatnot. You know, we were the creators of all these different things, you know, the masters of all these different things, you know. Go ahead.
For he is the former of all things, and Israel is the rod of his inheritance. The Lord of hosts is his name.
Right, so Israel is the rod of his inheritance. Israel, the Israelites, is who the Lord is going to inherit, more or less to say. This is his prized possession, you know. Go ahead.
Hey, real quick, if I can say this. You look at that movie Wakanda, right? They had the vibranium and all that shit, protection and all that stronghold. Well, shit, that was us in Israel. When we were connected to Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, right? Our power source, couldn't nobody come in there and invade us and overthrow us. You know, we had that spiritual vibranium, which is connected to Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, right? So that whole the blueprint of that narrative, that's basically Israel, man. Because Wakanda don't fucking exist, you know, but Israel exists. But that's why we gotta stay connected to Yahweh Shem Shai. Now use that movie as us, man. Look, nobody can touch us when we walking and in order with Yahweh Shem Shai. There's nothing they can do.
It's a low-level example of what we have to look forward to.
Yeah. Or what we had prior.
What we lost.
David, yeah, exactly. From what we lost, you know, the water. All right. It says, and Israel is the rod of his inheritance. The Lord of hosts is his name. Verse 20. Thou art my battle axe and weapons of war.
Right, it says thou art what? Read that part again. Because we started by reading how the Most High was going to use the preacher as his weapons, right? All right, go ahead.
Thou art my battle axe and weapons of war. For with thee will I break in pieces the nations.
Right. So think about that, man. You're going to have some... Because, like, we know that this time is coming up, slowly approaching us, right? So if you look and measure the times diligently, we don't got this type of formal training to know how to operate this and operate that technology, do all this and do all that. World War III right around the corner, man. And we know who's going to come out supreme victors in World War III, man. The nation of Israel, man. The so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans is going to win that. But where's our training at, man? All right? The Most High is going to give us these spiritual powers for these things.
That's why I say seek ye the kingdom of heaven first.
Right.
Because like we always like to say, my God, right? That download.
Yeah.
Remember Neo, he was like,
I know Kung Fu.
I know Kung Fu. He just got a straight download. Like, and all of a sudden he a master martial artist from all these files. Like everything there was to know about Kung Fu or any fighting tactics, he got an instant download, just like with these scriptures. The Lord gave us a download, so when we read these scriptures, we understand. So likewise, when it comes to war, we gonna be experts, and say the Gadites were experts, men of valor at war. Who you think gave them that download of that knowledge, man? David said, blessed is thee that teaches my hands to war. He wasn't training. The Lord gave him that damn download and put the spirit on him, and he knocked.
He was a shepherd.
Yeah.
He was the greatest warrior.
Exactly. How a man that guards sheep able to just grab a lion and do like, come on, man. That's the Lord gave him that download. We gonna be, oh shit, and then we gonna be right.
Ultimately, it goes back to our forefather Jacob, man. He never had no training, but he wrestled the angel all night, man, with a broken leg, displaced or whatever. You know?
Yeah.
Go ahead with George first name.
All right, it's the book of Isaiah, chapter 41, starting at verse 15. Behold, I will make thee a new sharp threshing instrument having teeth. Thou shalt thresh the mountains and beat them small.
Hey, that's them governments, man. Again, where's our training? Where's our weaponry? We don't got it. We real late showing up to the fight, man. World War III finna pop off at any point in time. And we talking about we gonna reign supreme victory at the end of all this, but we ain't got no training. We ain't got none of these things carnally. We don't got no kind of carnal training, no marksmanship, and none of that stuff, man. But they've been out here for years and years perfecting their war tactic. But what the Lord's gonna give us that download, man. All right, go ahead.
Sir. Thou shalt thresh the mountains and beat them small, and shalt make the hills as chaff.
Yeah, big talk.
Verse 16. Thou shalt fan them, and the wind shall carry them away, and the whirlwind shall scatter them. And thou shalt rejoice in Yahweh, and shall glory in the Holy One of Israel.
Because it's not going to be out by our own means. It's going to be through the Lord. It's going to do these things so you can get the glory for those things.
Hey, real quick, Quan, before you get that, and like, you know, all these martial arts, it was based off of what, animals, praying mantis, and all this. Yeah, you know about that. You know, who created those animals? The Most High. So men take those same styles and stuff, and they incorporate it into a fight. Exactly, and that's wisdom. You know, the knowledge of knowing that art, praying mantis and all this, that kung fu. Like they got it from animals. So the Most High create those animals, so He gonna give us that light. You know, that light download, man.
And
you know?
even with the Air Forces and stuff, they fly in that V formation like birds, you know? Go ahead, Paul, real quick.
Yeah, Psalms 144, a Psalm of David. Psalms 144:1. Blessed be the Lord, Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, my strength, which teacheth my hands to war.
Hey, like the brother was just going into, all right? The Most High is going to give us that their download, man. All right? And so on and so forth. It's just like, how did you come into this in truth? How did you learn all this stuff in the truth, man? I mean, in a carnal sense, there's nothing that you really did that got you into this thing. The Most High gave you that desire to keep reading, keep watching, study this, remember that, and so on and so forth, man. You know, I'd be tripping in my own mind. How did I know that precept was there, or this was that, and so on and so forth? I mean, you're going to bug yourself out trying to think of it that way in some kind of carnal sense, man. The Most High gave you this here spirit, man. That's it. That's the only thing that you, yeah. It's a spiritual thing, not a carnal or physical thing, man. You have your pastors in these churches, they've been reading the same book for longer than I've been born, man. But they can't do all these things that we were able to do because why? They don't have that spiritual download, man. Go ahead.
It says, blessed be the Lord, my strength, which teacheth my hands to war and my fingers to fight. My goodness, my fortress, my high tower, and my deliverer.
So that the Most High come out of heaven and say, throw me a left kick.
Yeah.
You know, throw me a
My son.
You know what I mean?
Hey, ultimately, it's the Holy Spirit.
Yeah.
Right. So the Holy Spirit teaches us these scriptures.
Yeah.
And it's going to be teaching us to unlock them roundhouse kicks. There was a movie, I think it was The Matrix, where Neo was fighting with Morpheus. He's like, stop trying to hit me and hit me. It ain't going to be like that, man. It's not going to be, you know, he's going to get the download. Is that also the same word we're talking about? Keep reading.
It says, and he in whom I trust, who subdueth my people under me. Because what? 2/3 was coming up against King David, man. You know what I mean? But the Lord gave him that power, man. Yeah. You see? The Lord gave King David that reverence. And that's why he was envied, man. That's why he was hated. But see, but the Lord gave him that honor, man. You see? Because he maintained his integrity. All right? It says in verse 3, the Lord, Yahweh Shemel Shai, what is man that thou takest knowledge of him? Or the son of man that thou makest account of him? Man is like to vanity. His days are as a shadow that passeth away. Bow thy heavens, O Lord, and come down. Touch the mountains, and they shall smoke. That's it on that.
Hey, wait. Is that the same one where it says, thou teach my hand to bend the bow, or the bow of steel?
I'm not sure.
That's another song.
Yeah, that's another song.
All right, so go ahead and finish that off right there.
Yeah, say this real quick too. You know how superpower movie started? Yeah, Spider-Man and Venom and all. They started. Oh shit, I can do that. And,
Yes, sir.
You know that?
Yeah.
Imagine that. Like that. That's how we gonna feel in that day. Like, oh shit. Like, you know, enemy coming as a flood that's staring to get lifted, and you come around and do some shit. Like, oh damn. Like, you just flew back. Like, oh shit. Like, yeah, man,
Should get me excited.
you know that shit. That the beginning, it's like that's the fun part. It's the beginning of those movies when they figure out that they can do all those things, man. You know, Jeremiah 51:20, it says, "Thou art my battle axe and weapons of war, for with thee will I break in pieces the nations, and with thee will I destroy kingdoms." All right, it says, "And with thee will I break in pieces the horse and his rider, and with thee will I break in pieces the chariot and his rider."
So going into all these things, man, the Lord is going to break these nations in half, man. All right, their governments, their militaries, and so on and so forth, man. The tanks that they got, their weaponry and all these different things, man. Again, we ain't got none of the weaponry, none of these things to be taken. We don't got no tank buster, no bunker buster missiles. We ain't got none of that shit, man. But what?
Hey, real quick, that mainly is going to take place after we come back down. Because if we had that power now, we would just take over the world, you know. So with that full power, where we're able to just throw tanks through the sky and shit, that's going to be given to us when we come back down.
We get a new body.
New body,
Yep. It says, with thee also will I break in pieces men and women, and with thee will I break in pieces old and young, and with thee will I break in pieces a young man and the maid.
Hey, going into when we start going and finding the remnant, I guess you would want to say these Edomites that's left, you know, the first fruits are going into captivity, man. All right, because why? They're gonna be behind, how you say, big steel doors or whatever, whatnot. All these different things got their little personal militias or whatever holding them down or whatever, whatnot. But what? The spiritual power is going to be able to subdue them and get past all these different things, man. All right? Is that it on that?
Last verse, it says, I will also break in pieces with thee the shepherd and his flock, and with thee I will break in pieces the husband, man, and his yoke of oxen, and with thee will I break in pieces captains and rulers.
So ultimately, the Lord's going to raise up his people, man, give them that, again, like we were saying, that spiritual download, man. Once you get that download, hey, man, and then you're not going to be doing no wicked shit with it anyway. You know what I'm saying? You're not going to be just so-called stunting on people or whatever. Oh, look what I can do this.
Right.
No.
It's going to be glorify the Lord.
Right. He's going to give you these things. It's going to be a program. You're going to go according to the program.
I got you right here to back you
We
up.
can close out on that.
Yeah, because brothers were saying about wisdom, you know, and that
That's what teaches you. This is Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 7 and verse 22. Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 7 and verse 22. For wisdom, which is the worker of all things, taught me. For in her is an understanding spirit, holy, one only, manifold, subtile, lively, clear, undefiled, plain, not subject to hurt, loving the thing that is good, you know, going to the ways of the Lord, you know, and you know, doing everything that we can to glorify us. That wisdom taught us that spirit.
Hey, you're not gonna get no spiritual power and try to take over the kingdom of heaven. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, oh yeah, I'm about to knock these other Israelites out, take it down your house shot. No, man, we're not even gonna have no thoughts like that, man.
Nope.
All right.
It says, quick, which cannot be letted, ready to do good, kind to man, steadfast, sure, free from care, having all power, and these are all things that wisdom teaches you, overseeing all things and going through all understanding, pure and most subtile spirits. So that's all that wisdom teaches. Well, that's just a little list of things that wisdom teaches you. But just the precept from King Solomon, who asked for wisdom, knowledge, for wisdom before everything else. Because he understood that you need wisdom to be able to, do anything. Like the brothers were saying.
And to be able to fight is wisdom. Knowing the know-how.
Yeah, that was it.
All right.
I just want to say this real quick. Obadiah, the only chapter, the last verse says, many saviors shall come out of Zion. All right, and the kingdom shall be the Lord's. So that's what you're looking at, the kingdom of heaven right here,
Hey, with that, we want to give all praise and honor and glory to
Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rakak Kodash.
I want to give a double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone that taught us this truth, that rule will. All right, salutation, much love for you. I can push this truth and sincerity in the four corners of the earth and during the afflictions to feed and edify the elect. Shalom.